Welcome back, hot dogs. It's your boy, Spider Pig, aka TWP. Y'all already know what time it is. It's like 7:30 on Saturday, so that makes it another Super Saturday. Shouts out to the Super Saturdays, because you know how we do. Hey, this is what I do. I wake up early so we can talk Dragon Ball. If you don't want to talk Dragon Ball, don't click the video next time. If you don't want to be spoiled, why ain't your ass went and watch the video? Hell, your ass got as much time as anybody else got to watch the video. So if you're scrolling on YouTube, you should have been scrolling on Crunchyroll. Shout out to Crunchyroll though. Y'all know how we do. They sponsoring solo leveling with the collaboration with Dubby, and we appreciate that. You dig? We appreciate that. It got that body real quick. Shout out to catching bodies. Y'all know your boys out here hunting. So anyways, let me see what this video look like. We'll switch this over to there. We got the Rumble recording. So y'all already know we got plenty of things to get into today. Plenty of things. Shouts out to Super Saiyan 4. Shouts out to Adult Bodies. Shouts out to everything that they got going on in Dima. The manga done returned. Oh, the manga was lit too. Shouts out to your boy Rizhan. Rizhan showed up because he wasn't in Dima. He was over here acting like he clean God, so he was busy. Shouts out to being busy because you know, hell, your haters gonna hate anyway, so you might as well keep them busy hating. But anyways, let's get to the videos. What the J say? Welcome to my video. Into my video. Shout out to him for being a level 1 Buy Me a Coffee member over on TWP. We appreciate that.
Start by talking about King Goma, a central figure in the plot of Dragon Ball Daima. We know that he is a demon and, like any king, he is extremely ambitious. Demons in general have a great desire for power, and it is no surprise that Goma is after the demonic third eye. This artifact seems to be much more than just something valuable or rare. It is a key that can unlock immense powers, which justifies Goma's great interest. But after all, why does he want this eye so much? Let's explore some possible reasons. The first and most obvious reason is the grotesque increase in power. The third eye could actually be an artifact that grants the user a significant increase in strength. Or, even more interestingly, it could be an object capable of unlocking forbidden abilities, those deadly and extremely powerful techniques that are beyond the reach of most warriors.
Vegeta awakens Super Saiyan 4. A thrilling twist after Goku. In the latest heart-pounding episode of Dragon Ball Daima, fans are buzzing with excitement. After Goku achieved Super Saiyan 4, could Vegeta finally unleash his own Super Saiyan 4 form? With Neva's help, we might witness an epic tag team showdown. Goku and Vegeta, both in their awe-inspiring Super Saiyan 4 forms, taking on the formidable Goma. But hold on. The clock is ticking with only 2 episodes left. The chances are slim, but imagine the thrill if Goku, Vegeta, and their allies reclaim their adult forms in episode 19. Glorio's wish seems to favor Goku, adding another layer of suspense. And here's a tantalizing twist. What if Goku and Vegeta undergo a new demonic fusion using the demon Potara? This fusion could spell the end for Goma.
Hey guys, this is Poohead189, and today I'm bringing you an entirely unscripted video of me just talking to you about canonicity with Dragon Ball Daima. And
now that's one thing y'all can stop doing as content creators. You ain't got to worry about explaining to the fans that this is unscripted. Unscripted basically means I'm just going to sit here and talk shit all goddamn day. Meaning I don't have a plan, I just got a topic. Shout out to having a topic and just making it work, but hey, we do that live over here, baby. That's a live versus a video. Videos, you want your videos to be on point and scripted, because guess what? You don't want to waste time, because you already supposed to have a plan for the video to begin with. Like I said, if you don't like people pausing and doing stuff mid-video, why are you watching review channels versus the original content? You dig? I mean, you shoot yourself in the foot by making a mistake and saying, oh, I'm going to see what Popcorn got going over here on Spider Pig versus just going to Crunchyroll and watching it from the source. But you know how y'all do. Y'all do whatever the fuck y'all going to do. So, hell, we appreciate it, too. Back to the video, because, you know, we trying to get it active today. Active. That's Goma little ass watching the videos and unscripting shit.
if you watch this channel, you know that earlier I made a video on the canonicity and how to judge canon when it comes to the original series. And I also mentioned Dragon Ball Super and GT. I think I mentioned GT at least, but that was before Daima had come out. So that was like late last year, or maybe like right at the end of summer or something like that. But, with Dragon Ball Daima, people are now asking the same question again, like, oh, what is or isn't canon? And full stop, I'm going to mention Dragon Ball Daima spoilers in this video. So if you don't want to hear that, then just click the video off. Okay, this is your warning. But the latest episode came out today, and I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so in today's episode, Goku goes Super Saiyan 4, which is wild. I'm not even going to say that it's good or bad because I would need to really think on that. But I will say that it makes no sense. I think that that's fair. In fact, I think that that's completely obvious to anyone who thinks about it for more than half a heart.
Well, if you're actually paying attention, you know it was actually a good thing. See, shouts out to me paying attention. You know, attention is free. Yeah, focusing on that part. Attention is free. So therefore, you should be paying plenty of it. Because guess what? If you're paying attention, you realize Never can do whatever the hell he wants. Because he's like, shit, I'm the old ancient Namekian. We got Namekian magic and it's demon world level. You see what I'm saying? Meaning which they all left the demon world, which means it didn't get weaker. It's different there versus here. You see what I'm saying? So when you actually go back to the demon world, hell, it's a little bit better, especially whenever you're using it correctly. Shouts out to the correct usage. You dig? But anyways, hell, you saw him amp up the Tamagamis. You saw Tamagami 1 had the amp to where he should be able to use it. Because like I keep telling most people, y'all ain't paying attention. They did this to go back because they're fixing things that they see that they fucked up on in Super. And so how do you do that? You make you make a little small series with 20 shows and bring in things you're going to be using from here on out whenever things continue. Meaning, Toritaro went and did Clean Guy because now guess what? You got access to Super Saiyan 4 and you get to explain how you want it to go whenever you drop it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what's going to make people watch and pay more attention. I mean, he set his student up because they're talking about what is and what isn't canon. Akira Toriyama. Okay, let me slow it down. We talking too fast, baby. Maybe I need a script too. Anyways, but Akira Toriyama had already picked Toritaro based upon him liking Toyotaro's work that Toritaro had put in as a fan animator and creator. You see what I'm saying? He's like, I like your little digs and shit. We gonna work you in here one of these days, but hell, for now, you just get to be the little homie, and I'll be that big homie. You know what I'm saying? So now that the big homie's gone, the little homie get the promotion, and that'll be what is now canon because he had already picked the person he wanted to replace him. Shouts out to being a king and picking your replacement. That makes you a real king. You like damn near God level. Like, hey, I ain't gonna be here forever. I ain't fucking with y'all. Y'all got these new YNs coming in. They be tripping. Shout out to the people tripping because then he already knew to replace himself with somebody that'll be tripping like y'all and y'all will agree with it. So y'all gonna like Toritoro's story. Hell, I think he gonna actually make Goten into the new Zycor and he's just going to combine them because that's how they've been doing their retcons. We're going to retcon some stuff. Zycor is going to be retconned to Goten, and that's my prediction coming up. But, like it or not, hey, you can leave a comment.
It's complete bullshit in terms of logic. However, it occurred. And you know what? I do like Super Saiyan 4's design, even though this design is a little bit different than the usual Super Saiyan 4. But I will say that people are now asking whether this is canon or not. Or they're not asking. Some people are saying it's not, and some people are saying it's R. And this message is mostly about the discourse to the Super Saiyan 4 happening, rather than whether I think it's good or bad. And when I say discourse is like, is it canon? Dude, I don't fucking know. And you know what? You don't fucking know. You do not know if this is canon. You know why? Because no one knows. There is no way to tell. Because Daima and Super make no sense. They don't make sense in terms of Dragon Ball, which is a huge achievement because Dragon Ball is already not big brain, despite the fact that people rack their brains over it, me being a prime example. But yeah, Dragon Ball Daima is its own form of canon. What I would say, if I had to make a verdict right now, I would say that you should think of it like you think of the 13Z movies. And the way I think of the 13Z movies is they're not canon to the main story, but they're like alternate versions of what could have occurred at some point. Like, I'll give you an example. My favorite Dragon Ball Z movie ever is movie 2, World's Strongest. I think that's the best action. I think it has a really unique and cool villain. I think that it has like a great Kaioken move. I think that Piccolo becoming controlled again is an awesome twist. I love the aesthetic of all of it. It's I think it has the best action out of all of them. Like I said, I think it's my favorite. And I generally see that as Raditz having arrived on Earth, Goku and Piccolo having fought him. Everything turns out the way it was after Raditz fought them, as in like Goku and Raditz dies and Piccolo goes to train Gohan. But after that, either Vegeta and Nappa did not know about all of this, or somehow they never made it to Earth, or they wished for their, Saiyanpas to explode. And so Vegeta and Nappa never showed up. And that would explain why Goku has Kaioken. That would explain how Piccolo and Krillin and Gohan are stronger, but they are still not as strong as Goku, and Goku is able to, achieve ×3 and I believe ×4 in the movie. And also maybe why Roshi trained to be able to fight with them. And I think that all aligns with it. And I think that Daima is another sort of official, unofficial what if, or alternate history. And I think the same way of Dragon Ball Super as well. Now, obviously, Toriyama's never said that, but that is the best way, I think, to put them in there. But, like, whether Dragon Ball Super or Daima is actually canon, it would depend on if you think logic matters. And I think it's good to have logic matter. As odd as it sounds. I'm not going to go into why I think Super or Daima is good or bad, but, I was thinking of making a video about that at some point, and essentially I do need to point out that the one reason, how would I put this? If you took Dragon Ball, the original manga and anime, and then you took Dragon Ball Daima and Dragon Ball Super, and you made them like movies or books or live action shows or any other medium that's not anime and manga, you would think that it is inexcusable about how little they connect to one another in a rational form. You would immediately call it horseshit.
But like he already said, if you overthink it, then that's you overthinking. So shouts out to either being a fan and supporting the work, or shouts out to being an asshole who got to nitpick everything. It's up to you. You pick your struggle, right? Hell, either you want new content, or you want to sit there and nitpick about not having content, or the content you do get, you act like you don't enjoy it because you're too busy thinking about it. Hell, we already know what makes sense. Dima wasn't made before this was made before Super, so now Super has to explain that, which is good because that gives them something to do when they come back. Let's explain how all this shit from Dima is now going to affect the show, and then we're going to bring back Black Frieza, because guess what's going to happen? He either going to get the third eye, or somebody with the third eye might 106 and park his ass. Shout out to that being an option. Glorio might be the new guy, like, hey, never been working with me. I look like an angel anyways, and now I got the third eye. Boom, there you go. Commercial. Ain't no fucking
You would,
commercials.
especially because I'm a big reader, because you know I'm a fantasy writer. And I'm a big reader too. I love reading fantasy and science fiction novels. I'm in that world of the fandom, not as much as Dragon Ball and games, but you know, I dabble in the fandoms of those as well. And you know, some of my favorite authors have said like, you know, they do their best to maintain canonicity and to maintain, how would I put it, consistency, or else it would not make any sense and their fandoms would tear them apart. But for some reason, when it comes to anime and manga, particularly in ones that don't take themselves so seriously, like Dragon Ball or JoJo or One Piece, fans don't give a fuck a lot of the time. They just go with it. And I think that while it's still good to enjoy yourself watching them, you should also kind of give a fuck. But like people are complaining about the new Marvel movies being like, oh, they're not really very connective to the other one. This is trash. But you
But like I said, the reason why I know not to give a fuck would be that D student, aka Toriyama. We know this guy's a D student. He turned in all his assignments, but they were D papers. You see what I'm saying? He got a D just because he turned it in. Hell, could have been a C or a B, but hell, he's not a good student. He just was, hey, they told me to fill out this worksheet, follow the formula, pick a show, write a story. I did that. You see what I'm saying? If it don't make sense, it's because I'm a D student, man. Y'all got to give that guy some credit. He at least got his shit turned in on time. Y'all need a weekly show and weekly anime. He was putting it out there. Hell, quit making it make sense because, hell, you want it on time. Do you want it to be on time or do you want it to make sense? You got to choose your struggle.
never, but like what the Marvel movies do is nowhere near as egregious as Super or Daima, and people tear the Marvel movies apart. But here, people are just like, oh, I wonder why this is the case. When it's just like, well, it's because they didn't fucking care. And where, like, that rant aside, people give this a huge amount of leeway, but I will say that because of that, canon is very hard to determine, both from the fact that there's very little logic and the fact of the way the fandom goes with it, how the fandom approaches it, let's say. And so I'm just going to tell you right now that Dragon Ball Daima is just Daima canon. Dragon Ball Super is Super canon. Now, whether or not that is canon to the original series, I don't know, and no one knows. And even if Toriyama says it's canon, that's not good enough. Like some people think that that's good enough.
See, how you gonna argue with the person creating stuff and say what he said ain't good enough? In the video right there, we're not gonna hear anything else he has to say because you're disagreeing with the person that created something. Irrelevant, right? Shout out to that boy
Is Vegeta
Vegeta.
the best husband in Dragon Ball? Vegeta found himself a rival upon entering the Demon Realm. Hype showed his interest in Bulma, and Vegeta's sensors as her husband quickly started working. From that point onwards, Vegeta has always had an eye on Bulma. In episode 14 of the anime, right when the party was about to enter the Demon Realm, they found out that the ship was not going to endure this final leg of the journey, so all of them would have to fly. However, Bulma is the only one of them all to not have the ability to fly, and even though Hype kinda stepped in, Vegeta quickly took care of it. Without a single doubt, Vegeta just got Bulma to wrap her arms around him, and then the two of them abandoned the ship. This is just another instance of Vegeta looking after Bulma, obviously the most memorable one being his fit of rage after Beerus slapped her. And this begs the question, after all he's been through,
Hey everyone, it's me, Goku. Don't forget to subscribe to Unreal and Game It. Here you'll find the latest Dragon Ball news and content. Also, don't forget to like the video and follow Unreal on both Instagram and Twitter.
Kakarot! You, Kakarot, you will be the first to turn on notifications and give this video a like right now, or else I'll destroy you!
Ball Super manga chapter number 104 now officially in the history books, we now finally have the Dragon Ball Super manga return after nearly having to take off a year in its hiatus, with the story in and of itself now having to return for a one-shot special in showcasing the birth of Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2. The million-dollar question now moving forward is, will this inevitably come into play by having to have this be something that is showcased within the next major arc in Dragon Ball Super, and how exactly are the events involving Goten and Trunks becoming superheroes going to affect the story moving forward later on? As a quick little reminder before we go any deeper into this video, if you just so happen to...
Because as a quick little reminder, Toritaro's going to be using Goten coming up. I think he's actually going to be using Gotenks coming up. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make Gotenks the new Zycor. Because what's going to happen is they're going to get them to fuse, and then they're going to be stuck together, which makes them one character. Then that one character is the son of Goku and Vegeta, which makes him that bastard child. He's nobody's kid, but he's stronger than everybody's potential because he's a fusion. I mean, I can see that working right there. Hell, that works right there. Make Goten the next bad guy. Gotenks. Shouts out to that.
...to the channel, and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related.
Of course, my prediction can be wrong, so y'all can go ahead and roast me. But if I'm right, history books.
A single video that is posted onto the channel, as well as making sure to go on over and smash that like button down below. And if you would like to learn more and catch up on all of the previous Dragon Ball Super manga chapters that have led us to this very moment in this story right now, then be sure to head on down into the description box below and check out the official Dragon Ball Super manga chapters playlist for tons of additional content and information. So with all that out of the way, I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so much for your support, and now let's dive straight into the video. Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 104 in space, with several invading aliens now making their way towards Earth as a new threat seemingly approaches, to which it was only just upon with all of these aliens now being shown touching down on Earth and causing havoc all throughout the landscape, the invading forces that just so happen to have touched down actually hate the planet for being too clean, which their primary sinister goal is to do as much harm to the planet by causing pollution and dirtying up the planet as possible for their own sake of having to inhabit it, which didn't really go as far as to last very long, because to the unfortunate dismay of these polluting aliens, it was only moments after their initial invasion where planet Earth's mightiest superhero known as Klingon had then gone as far as to make his arrival by introducing himself by stopping these aliens in their tracks, as Klingon went on to then quickly shout, "That's far enough, dirty mad, and just who in the world are you?" "Who am I?" Klingon responds, "I am the one who scrubs out evil, for I am the Clean God." To which, ironically enough, as all of this was shown going down, to which it turned out to be nothing more than a movie that Goten and Trunks were watching. As the boys were seemingly watching this movie just before school, it turned out that Goten was seemingly way more excited than Trunks was in having to watch all of this go down, as Trunks went on to then quickly respond, "Oh."
Which makes more sense because, I mean, you guys know why Trunks doesn't care about superheroes, right? Y'all know why he don't care about superheroes, right? Because he got a superhero dad, level 1 right there present. He got a role model. He's got the Prince of all Saiyans with that McDonald's forehead line. You see what I'm saying? That's why he ain't worried about Clean God. He's like, motherfucker, I get to train and watch my dad put in work daily. You see what I'm saying? I mean, why is you watching? Oh, I forgot. Goku either dead or gone. So Goten's dad he's slacking on him. You see what I'm saying? Hence why the boy gonna get possessed and become the new Zycor. Then what's gonna happen? Goten grows up like, man, my dad really ain't fuck with me like that. You know what I'm saying? The nigga either dead or training. Either way, he chose not to be here because hell, we got Dragon Balls and shit. I done seen people wish back. This motherfucker ain't here putting in no work with me. Hell, he got me over here looking 10 for fucking 30 years. Yeah, Goku's a bad dad. I keep reminding y'all. Shout out to Piccolo, though. He at least raising Gohan. He said, I don't even know what the fuck Goten is. Yeah, which is why Goten is going to be that guy coming up. I'm telling you. Watch out, because Toritaro likes well, he likes the kids. Not like that, though. But you know how them Chinese and Japanese people motherfuckers be. They be some, P-files sometimes. So, you know how that be. Hell, you dig? But, hell. They can be mad if they want to. I still say, yeah, First
Jeez,
Amendment
how
over here in
lame.
America.
Well, what
America.
happened to the Clean God now? The movie announcer went on to then ask, will he be able to defeat the Dirty Mad and save Earth? Now for a special announcement. Will he be able to defeat Dirty Mad and save Earth? And now for a special announcement as Clean God is getting a live-action movie, the announcer continues. Watch the continuation in theaters across the country soon. Oh, Goten chimes in. Man, it's finally getting a movie and I can't wait to see it. So you really like this stuff, don't you, Trunks questions? Well, yeah. Clean God is really cool. So I'll talk about dated Trunks ads, the whole mask and the tights thing.
What up
Well,
with
it's
the
that old
dig,
school
homie?
feel that
Appreciate
makes
you
it
for
really
popping out,
cool.
rocking
Yeah,
out.
if you say so, Trunks says.
Hey,
To which
we
it was
all know
only
his
during the next
bars.
day as Goten and Trunks were then shown having to go to school as Goten went
Shit,
as far
hey,
as to
did
spot
he
Trunks
have
was when
bars?
Goten then went on to
Hell
quickly
yeah, he was
shout,
spitting
hey,
hot
good
fire.
morning, Trunks. Yo, Trunks responds, hey, does your class have a field trip today, Goten questions? So where are you guys going? Well, we're going to the museum, and so I gotta go, Goten, with Goten responding, lucky. Man, that sounds like a lot of fun. In which it was only during this time
Appreciate
as
you coming
Trunks and his
through, do some
classmates
med
were then
working.
shown
Hell,
having
you
to
know,
make
you
their
might
way
watch
inside
Dragon
of
Ball
this
too. Hell,
museum. We ironically enough
that's what
see
we
from
do.
the
Super
outside
Saturdays,
first
baby.
before having to go in a statue of the
Y'all
other
know to go
world
check
fighter
bro out. He
known as
probably
Ryu,
live though,
as of
cause he a
course he
live
was
motherfucker. You know
featured
what I'm
during the
saying?
events
He
of
be
the
hitting
other
that
world tournament involving
go
Goku,
in,
Icon, and said
stay
company,
in
which it
too.
turns out ironically enough more so inside of the museum. We also get to see a golden statue of Master Mutaito as well as many other fighters inside as well, which really gave the impression to go as far as to showcase some of Earth's mightiest warriors during that time, including having to showcase a statue of Hercule and of course Goku, but with one of the teachers indicating that most heroes don't reveal their identities and choosing to kind of go incognito while fighting crime. That is essentially why Goku ends up having a question mark on his golden statue face, which ironically enough at the same time, we know that back during the day, especially during the Cell games,
We
Goku's
know if
face was
Goten on this
plastered
fucking
all
field
throughout
trip, everybody
television,
should be able
so
to
the
see
world
it.
should
Hey,
by
that look
now
like
already
you.
kind of have an idea as to what Goku's
Yeah, that
face
was my
looks like,
granddad.
but
Shouts
the
out
golden
to
statue of
Son
Goku wasn't the
Goku,
only statues that were shown
aka
in
Son
this
Wukong's
museum, because
ripoff,
Trunks also went as
aka
far as to
learning
spot
your
the Great
history.
Saiyaman as well, aka Gohan. It only turned out a little later on as all of the students went as far as to eat their lunches outside of the museum, where they then spotted a movie production crew having to shoot the Clean God movie. As the crowd gathered, everything seemed as though it was going according to plan until, of course, the police ended up showing up, and the moment the cops ended up being on the scene was when the cops went on to tell everyone not to move, simply for the purpose of informing everyone that thieves had came on by and stealing a museum artifact and have tried to escape within the crowd, to which it was only as the crowd went on to point something out in having to notice that some of the crew members were very, very sketchy. Some of the residing crew members of this supposed Clean God movie on set were actually the thieves, in which they went on to make their identities well known, but even then, with one of them not realizing that Trunks was by himself, this one thief went as far as to take it upon himself and having to use Trunks as a hostage and holding him at knife point, with a massive standoff and hostage situation having to occur as the thief went on to tell the cops to...
I mean, imagine being a dumbass that tried to grab Trunks with a knife. Like, this regular ass nigga just try to grab me with a knife. Does he not know I'm fucking son of Prince Vegeta? I don't need a superhero. My dad got this. But then, hold on. Being Trunks, you sit here thinking like, well, hold on. This is a perfect opportunity for me to fuck him up. Look at that look on Trunks' face. He's like, does Trunks get to fucking pop off today? I do get to pop off today. You look at Trunks right there. You see the face. He's like, I'm gonna get to fuck this dude up. Trunks has been waiting on this type of shit. He's like, I'm about that action, baby. Hell, I see my dad do shit all the damn time. I know I'm gonna fuck something up. Watch. That's that look. I've seen it before. That's not nothing scared. See, look. Oh shit! See, what did I just say? I said Trunks could have fucking pulled it. Hey, nah, I'm not scared of nothing. He said, hey.
As one of the students was shown being very concerned with Trunks and having to ask if he was okay, Trunks went as far as to tell his classmate that he's really not supposed to interact between actions such as the ones taking place, but had no other choice than to do so until it was only from out of nowhere, just before Trunks even had the opportunity to act, was when Clean God got in Trunks' way and having to prevent him in stopping these thieves. As Clean God went on to then quickly respond, you mustn't go and use your powers while your true identity is exposed, boy. And so now I'll take it from here, and take it he did, because as Klingon went as far as to dash on in and having to go and take care of these criminals himself, it didn't really go and take long for both the crowd, the police, and for Trunks to notice that there was something very odd about Klingon that nobody can really put their finger on, to which even with the criminals being shown having to attempt to shoot Klingon, with Klingon being shown catching each and every single one of their shooting bullets, the crowd within the surrounding area,
we got Heather J in the building. Y'all gotta go check out Heather.
As to what he was witnessing take place before him, because it was only with the way Klingon was
hit them 3 dots. Heather also has a bought me a coffee for her monetization, because you know YouTube a little funny sometimes and like to be playing with your money, so you know how we do.
By how strong Klingon had appeared to be, to which it was only as one of the other thieves went on to take another person hostage by holding her at gunpoint was when the thief went on to then quickly shout, "That's enough out of you! You're no normal actor, now are you? Who are you? Show your face! Show your face now!" With Klingon acknowledging Trunks by then shouting, "Hey boy, do you know why heroes wear masks?" Why, Trunks asks. Well, wait, is it because they think that it makes them look really cool? Well, they are cool, yes, but that's not the only reason, Klingon says. Which it was only then within that very moment was when Klingon went as far as to make his move, because as Klingon went as far as to take down the operating leader, the ringleader of this entire crew by having to beat him up himself, not only was this entire moment involving Klingon being shown having to save the people around him,
it's all well too. I'd appreciate you as much as I appreciate everybody we rock with. You know how we do. Shit, we all finna have to win, because I'm gonna push us. I'm gonna push everybody out of them. See, I got the link stored in the other phone. Hell, we be dropping, we be doing our supporting and our networking. Shout out to the networking, bro. Already knows I'll be networking.
Right next to Trunks by then continuing, "Hey boy, let me go and ask you, are there people important to you?"
Hey boy. See, Gohan was in his bag with this one. Shout out to Gohan for being a W big brother though, because he done pulled in Trunks like that's my little guy anyways. I saw what happened in the future. Hell, I was the one who trained Trunks, because Vegeta got murked, so hell, he is the mid-range character between Goku, Vegeta, and Goten and Trunks.
Seconds within this very moment was when Klingon then began to leap back into action by stopping the ringleader and having to put an end to all of this himself, as even with Klingon being shown spinning around and having to create some sort of a whirlpool and trapping the ringleader within it, with Trunks having to...
Can I make my own? I mean, definitely got one I was thinking of, but... Heather, you over here giving away the cheat codes. I'm trying to tell you. You over here giving away the cheat codes, because this is the reason why I've been building up this channel anyways. Heather, you better leave me alone. You know, I'm a BMF. I'm a bad motherfucker, Heather. I can do whatever I want. I got a storyline that I was thinking about doing my damn self. Fan made, doing the manga and all that easy shit, because hell, I can borrow shit because it's easy to draw shit, because, you know, they all copy shit anyways. That's why they have the concept design, and then you just borrow the poses and positionings for whatever you want on the fucking panel, and then you got to do the facial expressions with the characters, which is not too hard, but you know, I'll be putting in work.
Lesson for him, because Trunks went from being someone that really wasn't a fan of Klingon to now having to admire him completely, which with Klingon then shown having to make his move, but by not having the golden mop which he carries with him by his side.
Well, we know y'all be in y'all crafting. Shout out to Heather's Chronic Condition Crafting. She done changed it to Heather J. Shout out to Heather doing her THING though.
As it didn't really take long for the Klingon to execute his final move, the Aqua Wash, by then having to put the thief right back in his place. When we then began to see a POV shot from Trunks' point of view in staring up towards the sky and having to see a visual of the Klingon himself, which Trunks was very, very, very enamored by, as one could even go as far as to make the argument to say that this was the very moment to which Trunks became able...
See, but this is good because this shows why Trunks is actually interested in superheroes. Because, like I said, he been watching Vegeta his whole life, so he's like, I have no interest in the superhero. You see, my dad's that guy. You see what I'm saying? I mean, your dad is Goku, but my dad is Goku's rival. So you see, my dad's that guy. He grew up with that understanding. You see what I'm saying? So he's always been inspired. That's why, well, not only the fact that he's older than Goten, that's why he's stronger than Goten, because he got Vegeta actually like, oh, when Vegeta learned he could already go Super Saiyan, he started training him a little bit on the slide, you dig? He said, let me make sure you're gonna stay stronger than Goten. You dig? We don't need you falling behind. But the funny thing is I think Goten would be the one who actually would want to become the god of destruction and go with the ultra ego path, and Trunks would probably take ultra instinct because Trunks is a little bit smarter, a little bit calmer. So, not saying he wouldn't be able to master both. I think that would be Trunks' kick. He would have ultra instinct and ultra ego because, hell, he can stay calm and use ultra instinct, and then he can also focus on destruction because Trunks, that might be his superpower coming up. But like I said, they gonna involve the kids a lot more, which is why they've been hyping them up in the manga. Because like I said, coming out, Toyotaro's finna go ahead and get to lay on his new plan, but part of his new plan, I already done told y'all, is gonna include making his fan-made story semi-canon now. So, because he's got full creative writing. That's what they said. I heard him say it. I'm gonna hold him to it. Hell, I know what he liked to write about. Tails, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 5. Yeah, we can do this. We can rewrite the whole story from here on out and just take it and run with it. Shout out to Sun Wukong giving him a general game plan of what would happen. Hell, it's gonna be Battle of Gods coming up all over again. Yep. Because now they're going to be like, well, damn, you got the primal Saiyan power, which we can use, which it doesn't have God Key, but hell, then when you throw in their combinations, y'all get them at the store. Somebody run into the store, I need a pack. Anyways, we need some snacks in this bitch. I did wake up early and didn't have breakfast. I need to start having breakfast ready for my Super Saturdays. Oh, I got breakfast. We got motherfucking blunts and motherfucking Mountain Dew. Let's keep it popping.
Believer and a fan of the Clean God, Twitch in a spectacular shot with Trunks being shown gazing up towards the sky with the water having to be shown raining down all around him. This in fact now was the very moment that went as far as to change Trunks' entire perception and his life seemingly enough forever from this very moment moving forward, and that is
but for those who don't know, that's exactly why Gohan gets called Rizhan. You see how he just riz Trunks up into liking superheroes, and nobody notices Gohan at this point in time. So spoiler alert, whatever. The episode came out on Wednesday, so it's Saturday. If y'all ain't seen it by now and y'all being spoiled by me, y'all need to remember I'm going to spoil it for you. So hey, that's why you came to my video. You wanted to see what was going on this week. Oh man, I ain't even watched that yet. I was trying not to watch it. Well, guess what? Now you stuck watching it with the big homie, which is good for you because hell, I be rolling up and keeping it popping over here. We be having a good side conversation, or you could just fast forward with the timestamps and get past me talking and pausing and shit. Because we be having to do YouTube review videos and stuff. Yeah, I changed it up with the stuff because I clipped that. Shouts out to the highlights. Y'all know we got them popping. I ain't trying to make too many today because I'm only trying to hit y'all for one a day for this week on Spider Pig. We trying to take it easy for the rest of February. Don't want to look like I'm trying too hard because it was Black History Month. Why your ass was working so hard? Don't you know it's Black History Month? Yeah. Does that mean I don't work Black History Month? Is that what you just said? Translations? I don't know. Let's see. Let's zoom back in for the scans. Yeah, there you go. Y'all know go check Heather out in the morning. She'll be on live before me. Shout out to her Friday and Sunday post.
So was when Goten went on to quickly shout, "Hey Trunks, let's hang out." Wait, what? as to Goten's surprise with Trunks being shown playing one of the Klingon video games was when Goten went on to then quickly continue, "Oh, hey, you bought the Klingon video game! And I actually wanted to go and play that one too. Yeah, it's not half bad," Trunks says. "Well, yeah, this game is what got Klingon started, and so now give me that. Hey, I'm still playing," Trunks shouts. "Man, this game is so cool. You know, what if the two of us actually did this too?" "Did what?" Trunks asks. "You know, the superhero stuff, saving the world and all." "Well, we already are," Trunks says. No, not that. You know what I mean, like in reality, but, well, you wouldn't be interested in all of that anyways, Trunks. "Well, no, but actually," Trunks says, "I think I kind of am." "Oh, really?" To which it was only interestingly enough as Bulma was shown walking on by Trunks' room, as the two were shown having to sketch down multiple ideas for their superhero duo. It didn't really take long for Trunks to sketch down multiple ideas, as the two were shown having to pass ideas back and forth, was when Trunks went on to then continue. "Okay, so now first let's go and design costumes so that we can go and keep our identity secret, okay?" "Whoa, costumes? That's really cool. Something like Klingons, right?" Goten asks. "Well, if we go and copy his, then that'll be cosplay, and so we'll have to switch it up some,"
That'll be
Trunks says. "Hey, what
cosplay.
about
He
adding
said,
stuff
I know
like
what the
Vegeta's battle
lingo.
outfit," Goten says. "Papa's? Well, actually, yeah, good idea, and so let's just go and add a touch of that. Goten, do we really need, like, the tights and the briefs over the top?" "Well, yeah, definitely," Goten says. "I mean, Klingon wears them. Actually, I kind of was thinking if we can go and skip that, you know?" "No," Goten shouts, "we can't. I already told you that old school looks cool." Okay, fine," Trunks says. "Well, what about capes? I think that we can go and get away with that, and I want a scarf." "Oh, okay, well, I want a cape then, though." "Okay, then," Trunks says, "but I guess we'll have slightly different designs then," to which, interestingly enough, outside of Capsule Corp,
That's why
coincidentally
X1's
enough,
different
it's
than
how
X2.
Bulma was handing Vegeta food before he and Whis were shown having to then take off and going back onto Lord Beerus' planet. It didn't really go as far as to take long for Trunks to be shown being done, as Trunks went on to then question, "Alright, now what about superhero names? Didn't Gohan go and use a transforming superhero thing? I mean, what
Kinda
was
like
his?"
Dad's.
"Oh yeah, I think it was, the great Saiyaman." "Saiyaman, huh? Nice," Trunks says. "It's simple, but I still think that we can add an air of mystery to it. Okay, the two of us will be known as, Saiyaman X. How's that? X? Why X? Oh, come on. Isn't that nonchalant feel cool to it? Okay, but how about this?"
See, that makes perfect sense. X, Zykor. See, I ain't playing with you. Shouts out to Zykor on the way.
"I'll be Saiyaman X1 and you can be Saiyaman X2. Hey, how come you get to go and be number 1 while I'm number 2, Goten questions. "Well, because I'm older, duh." "Oh, fine," Goten says. "I'll ask Capsule Corp to go and make the suits for us then, okay?" To which, moreover, in the meantime, back within Mr. Satan's house, as Hercule was overseeing his students practice martial arts, as Klingon just so happened to have walked in from behind, it was only surprisingly enough, just as Hercule went on to welcome Klingon inside of his dojo, was when Klingon then began to take off his mask, and surprisingly enough, the individual beneath the mask this entire time happened to have been none other than Gohan, as Gohan went on to take off his mask by then responding, "Oh jeez, Mr. Hercule, cut me a break with all of this, will ya?" With Hercule responding, "Well, I'm really sorry, Gohan, but my student was supposed to go and play Klingon, but he got sick, so I'm sorry." "Well, I did happen to overhear that there was some kind of a big incident that happened, so did it go away?" Videl questions, with Gohan responding, "Oh, yeah, it was fine. They were nothing more than just petty thieves." "Well, that's not what I meant," Videl responds. "Trunks was there, right?" "Oh, that. Well, yeah, that was close, and he was just about to go and fight in front of everyone, too, and if people had found out that he has superpowers, then his high school life would have been ruined." "Yeah, I remember what you went through because of that," Videl responds, "and so did he understand?" I think so," Gohan responds. "He didn't notice it was me, so I just started monologuing as Clean God. I scrub out the world's evil. I am Clean God, you know?" With Hercule responding, "Oh, a voice changer, I see," with Videl chiming back in, "Sheesh, put you in a superhero costume and you totally change, huh? And wasn't that the wrong pose to begin with?" "Oh, what? It was?" Gohan questions. "Yeah, oh well," Videl responds. "Anyway, it won't go and do us any good by having to have Bulma worry over this, so it's best if we all go and keep this a secret, okay?" With everyone responding, "Yeah, oh, and And by the way, Vidal, isn't it almost time to go and pick up Pan Hercule questions? Oh yeah, I'll see you later, Papa, Vidal shouts. To which, interestingly enough, several days later, ironically enough, within the same city as we just so happened to oversee a police chase take place below, was where the irony began to take place prior to the events of Dragon Ball Super Superhero to begin with, because this in fact ended up actually being the very same day to which Goten and Trunks made their debuts as Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2, which they both went as far as to use a massive billboard cover of Clean God to make their debut by having to show up and popping out from behind it. It was only just after having to go as far as to stop these criminals in track before having to make their debuts as Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2. These events, ironically enough, especially with both of them having to make their debut, actually take place during the beginning of the prequel to Dragon Ball Super Superhero, to which it was only just upon Goten and Trunks standing forward and just about ready to fight crime within the city was when Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 104 then comes to a close. Now, for better or for worse, I'm genuinely happy that the Dragon Ball Super manga has returned after nearly having to take a year off its hiatus following the unfortunate death of Akira Toriyama, but having to watch everything unfold the way it did and watching Goten and Trunks,
I can see that happening. New aliens come and kidnap these two.
didn't feel as needed as people would assume.
Give them a weird fusion and boom. Now they're cycling. Like, nah, Saiyaman X, no.
Was Gohan for the time being. A lot of people, including myself, would ultimately feel the need that this wasn't
it's
really
two niggas, so it's a
necessary to
core.
be included within the story,
Shouts out to
especially
creating cores in Dragon Ball, right? Sinestro core
By the end of all
to the
this,
heart,
I
baby.
want to go ahead and get your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to 3 specific questions, with that being question number 1. On a rating scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being absolute trash and with 5 being phenomenal, what would you guys rank Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 104 on a rating scale of 1 to 5? Question number 2 is, now that the events that went into alongside preceding that of Dragon Ball Super Superhero, what do you think the next big arc within the Dragon Ball Super manga is going to be? And more specifically asking the question on if this is going to be a brand new arc that we're going to be getting later on down the road, or if this is more or less going to tie into the events of having to finally reintroduce Black Frieza. And finally, question number 3 is, now that we understand that Goten and Trunks were indirectly inspired by Gohan in having to portray the role of Clean God within the manga, do you guys ultimately believe that this is somehow going to carry more weight going forward in the future, having the boys find out, or do you guys genuinely believe that all of this was essentially for nothing? So again, to go back and see some of the filler characters be included, to see even Master Mutaito actually be portrayed as somewhat of a hero via a statue, I think was a really cool thing. Alongside a lot of the art and the action for this manga chapter specifically was really cool, but even now, I'm really hopeful for the future that we're going to be getting something new, and hopefully soon. So again, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time. To which, once more, if you also just so happen to be new to the channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you all to head on down below and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for so much more. Thank you all so much for your time, and with all that being said, I will be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Now, I know it might be weird, maybe even a little bit sus, but just trust me, okay? Just shove it in your mouth, Catman.
Say what now? I will do no such thing, talking
That shit
man.
in
But
your
what I
mouth,
will do
Catman.
is encourage you all to subscribe to Unrelent Gaming for the latest Dragon Ball content. And while you're at it, make sure to like the video. Also, don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon community for more exclusive content, early access, and much, much more. Do it now, or I'll destroy your planet, along with every taco.
Hey, don't just waste the goddamn thing. Pass it here.
Got a new exit screen. That's what's up.
Guys, I'm canon now.
Devontae who that is and why his transformation looked like mine, but uglier. I don't know that little boy. Hell, he look like a fan of you. It's me, Dragon Ball Daima main timeline Goku. Y'all ain't seen episode 18? Dog, I don't even know what a TV or phone looks like. All I do is waste time touching tips with crusty crackhead universal level threats to get stronger because battle turns me on more than my wife. Instead of killing them, even though they try to brutally murder everyone I love. All I do is sip on coconut water and bathe in the blood of my enemies while using their back meat as my doormat. What? Metaphorically. Anywho, Super Saiyan 4 is canon now. Run my fade. What? So you think you're gonna become canon to the main timeline instead of mine because some dehydrated scuzzard allegedly unlocked your potential replacing my design and not run my fade? I know you be knocking down mountains with them big ass hands, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shouts out to Vegeta. He said, "Oh, y'all fucking with the guy?" So what I'm talking about, Gohan actually had to use some powers and do some flexing in front of Trunks for him to appreciate superheroes. But it was a good thing it was Gohan because he got that Riz. Shout out to your boy. Hey, this is a good one too. Shout out to Unrelent. Not only did he do the manga, diama, and his own fan made, you see what I'm saying? This guy stays busy. I was telling Heather earlier. Shit. You gotta tell me, I already know what to do.
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Although it is a race against time as Zalama and I attempt to go and do our very best in helping retrieve the Super Dragon Balls before it's too late, I'm afraid that even I wasn't expecting for such an outcome to take place, as I can only hope that Zalama and I are not too late in having to go and retrieve them before they are to be used again.
As our story now continues, following the initial invasion on planet Vampa with the newly evolved demon Haas being shown having to be first to make his way forward in confronting our heroes, it was only just upon with Bully, Gohan, and Goku being shown having to stare Haas down and having to wait and see what he was going to do next was when Haas went on to then quickly point out by responding, "I find it quite amusing on how you have all decided to go and gather together on this world in assuming that Lord Raijin wasn't going to go and find you, but now that I have been given a second chance to honor Lord Raijin's name after granting me a new strength to do so, you should all go and know that I don't intend on squandering it here against you, because with this newly found power that is coursing through my body, I will hereby go and make it my mission to weaken every last one of you, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, before I go and hand you all off to Lord Raijin himself to destroy. And so while you may go and think that you are all safe, understand that you will never find peace, so as long as Lord Raijin's will is to be done, which is why you will all suffer in his name, and as I will go on to make sure of that personally.
Personally, damn. Handling this shit.
His will and finish what was started long to place himself within the highest ranking position in the entire multiverse and having to rule over you all. But Lord Raijin will also hold dominion over everything with nothing and no one that will be left to go and dare to stand in his way ever again, Oz continues. And since the three of you are some of Universe 7's mightiest mortal warriors, then you three will be the ones who will pay the price with your lives once this is all over. With Gohan then having to respond, well, I don't know about you guys, but I think I've had enough in having to go and deal with these demons as of late, and so what do you all say then? Shall we go and put an end to them here and now and show these monsters on what our power is truly capable of, or do you want to go and try and see if we can gauge them all first in battle and having to go and further see what we'll be going up against in the meantime? Gohan questions, because quite frankly, I'm getting real tired of having to deal with these creatures back to back to back like this, and so what do you say, Dad? Well, for one, we shouldn't go and underestimate anything that these demons could possibly be capable of and having to do, Goku responds, and so let's just instead go engage them all and first having to see what we're up against in battle before we go off and destroy them, Goku says. And so now in the meantime, Sheila and Lemmo, it's better for you guys to go and get to a safe enough place while we go and do this, because it just might go and get ugly out here in the meantime. So before we go in there and do this, Goku continues, fair warning to you both and trying not to go and let your guard down here against them, and let's just go and see on how much power will be needed to crush them all, so that way we can go on to further maintain what we have for later in case we truly might need to go and use it, Goku says, as we can't just go and chance anything out here against them, so try and remain focused, Goku says, as Haz went on to then quickly shout, enough of this, now go, my fellow hunters, go and sink your spikes into their flesh, and do not stop pursuing them until they all perish. Alright, now remember to go and hold your ground, and for you not to go and let any of them out of your sight, Goku then went on to continue, and so now try to remember to save your strength in case we need it briefly, and let's just go and see as to what we're up against here. But then, it was only just upon with the hunters being shown slamming into both Goku and Gohan as Broly was left having to stand off against Haz was when Gohan then went on to quickly respond, oh, these things are a lot sturdier than I would have imagined that they'd be, but try not to go and let up here against these things, but from what I can go and see and from the looks of it, I think these things only had decided to go and target us in the meantime, Dad, which means that Broly is all by himself. Well, that I can go and see, but don't let their sudden attacks go and sway you otherwise, especially you, Broly, Goku shouts. But heads up right there in front of you, because it looks as though the bigger one over there is coming right after you, Broly. But then, it was only just upon within that very moment as Broly was shown turning into a Super Saiyan, as the newly evolved demon Haz was then shown making his way towards him, was when Haz went on to then quickly respond, I don't think you mortals quite understand the dangers that you are all placed in within the moment, because with the two of you having to come onto this world for whatever reason that may have been, the end result of what is about to go and take place throughout this rotten universe once Lord Raijin goes and gets his hands on what he seeks will inevitably all end in the exact same way as he had anticipated for it to end, and that'll be through your inevitable destruction. Well, not if we have something to say about it, you won't. Go on, they went on to quickly power up by responding, for they may be strong, but I do believe that those giant mouths on the front of their bodies is their greatest weakness, Dad. And so now let's go and try to hurry and blast these things back so that we can go and try to get rid of them from our line of sight and focus solely on Demon Haz while we have the chance, Gohan shouts. Right then, and so now there, Goku shouts upon being shown having to let out a blast alongside with Gohan and blasting two of the hunter demons away. Now go and give it everything you have without going as far as to use your full power, and let's clear right past these two so that we can go and get the main one. Yes, there we are now, Gohan shouts, and with Broly jumping into using his Super Saiyan form rather than going any higher, it only now appears as though we have them right where we need to be, just as I knew that we would, as Haz went on to then quickly respond, oh, but how did you both just go and deal with my hunters so quickly like this? Oh, curse you, primal parasites, for you haven't won. Not by a long shot, and I stand here before you as proof that you didn't and you won't, Saiyans. Well, maybe now you can go and see that we here in Universe 7 aren't just going to let you demons walk all over us without putting you all right back in your places by proving you wrong. And since we did, now you are left all alone with no one to save you from what you have coming, with Goku having to then chime in. And since you wanted to be the first one to go and try to use the numbers game here against us, now it's time for us to go and show you by going as far as to return to favor tenfold, Demon. To which it was only just upon with Gohan, Broly, and Goku being shown dashing directly towards Demon Haas was when Haas went on to then quickly respond. So this was your grand plan, huh, Saiyans? For did you really go and think that I would go and come here all alone? No, you fools. For we demons are never truly alone, because even while I stand before you as one, I carry the power and will of the entire demon realm here with me, as you are not just fighting me, but you are rather fighting all of us. To which it was only from behind Haas, as multiple energy beams were then shown having to make its way through the smoke. We only then begin to take a look as to how the tables were now beginning to shift within the favor of the demons, as Haas went on to then continue. Yes, very good. For my reinforcements have finally arrived, and who better to be sent out here to crush you all than by sending out one of the strongest machine demons within the entire demon realm. For now you mortals are in for a very rude awakening, and so now you are all in for it. As Ultimate Gohan then went on to respond, what an insanely powerful burst of energy attacks, but where in the world are they coming from? Answer, why are these attacks so heavy? Oh, if we don't go and try to do something quick, then it'll simply go on to overtake us all here, Dad. But then, it was only surprisingly enough through the other side, as the elite machine demon known as Meki Myro was then shown having to step through in blasting Broly, Gohan, and Goku, was when Meki Myro then went on to respond. How utterly pathetic of you mortals to go and assume that we are now without protecting our own. For Lord Raijan's will is absolute, and with I as his instrument of chaos, he has sent me into this universe to purge it of all those who dare to stand and oppose him. As I am hereby ready to battle you all, for this day will be remembered as your last, because I don't plan on stopping until each and every single one of you are destroyed, no matter the cost. Meki Myro continues, for you were lucky to have escaped us once before, Son Goku, but know this, for you will not be so lucky to go and escape us as you did ever again. As Goku then went on to respond, I think I remember him from when Kibi and I were attempting to avoid being seen by him, and we've got to go and stand our ground here, you guys, because I think that this is going to be a tough one. But then, it was only through the other side, as Super Saiyan Broly was then shown rapidly making his way ever so closer towards Meki Myro, was when Ultimate Gohan then went on to quickly shout, wait, no, don't do it, Broly! Oh, darn it! We're sitting ducks out here if we don't go and do something quick here, Dad, because I'm not sure if Broly's going to be able to handle that guy out there all by himself, and so we've got no other choice than to go even higher than what we are now, because, well, the longer we go and hold out, then the worse this could probably end up becoming, especially since we kind of already see as to where these two stand. But it was even despite with Super Saiyan Broly's best attempts of having to attack Meki Myro, with Meki Myro being shown having to wrap Broly around several cables before being shown having to electrocute him, was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, oh, darn it! I was hoping that it wouldn't come down to this and having us go and use our strongest levels of power so soon, but it looks like we are left with no other choice then, and so now let's go and hurry and use our full strength in hopes of getting that machine off of him, because if he is able to go and grab hold of Broly and electrocute him like this, then it's only going to be a matter of time before Broly's body wears down, with that machine demon having to end his life in the process, and so let's move right now! To which this was immediately what both Gohan and Goku ended up doing, because with Goku being shown jumping straight into his Master Ultra Instinct form as Gohan jumped into his Beast form, was when the two immediately then went on the attack by simultaneously kicking Meki Myro, with Gohan shouting, that's enough, you metal freak, because if you thought that we were just going to stand idly by and watch you hurt him the way you did, then you have another thing coming coming then, demon. That's right, Goku then went on to quickly chime back in. And no amount of loyalty to your Dark Lord down there is ever going to go and break our resolve to always stand together in battle no matter what. With Haas responding, curse these Saiyans and their constant rotten interference. Now, how should we go about this by having to split them apart and having to keep them divided, Meki Myro? Now hold your ground and do not falter from this momentary pushback, Meki Myro then went on to quickly respond, for I will go and find a way to break them all apart and creating separation between them, and when I do, I will need for you to go and close in and do what must be done to shred them while we have the chance, but you will leave the bigger Saiyan among them all for me to handle, Meki Myro continues, as I will go and be the one who will ensure his painful destruction. But then, it was suddenly within that very moment as both Haas and Meki Myro were beginning to sense a very strange and anomalous energy begin to surge and having to garner both of their attentions was when Haas went on to then quickly respond, wait, Meki Myro, are you sensing what I'm sensing at the moment? Or could this truly be what I think for this to be? Because if it is, Haas continues, then what should our next move go and be since we are already locked in battle at the moment? With Meki Myro responding, yes, for the hour of the beast is at long last here, which only means that our work here must be cut short until we are to return again. For we are all now to go and return back within the demon realm for the time being and be with Lord Raijin as we wait to find out on what he wants for us to go and do, Meki Myro continues. And so now in the meantime, let us go and gather whatever of our forces are left and make our return at once, for we are not to go and miss this if this truly is what we suspect for this to be, Haas. And so now let's go. With Beast Gohan then having to chime in, hey, wait, look, something's wrong, because is it just me, or does it seem as though they are starting to lay off here? Because whatever it was that just happened, Gohan continues, it almost looks as though it now has their full and undivided attention. And so what do you think is going on that has them all on edge like this, with their guards now having to be lowered? With Goku responding, I'm not really sure, but we can't just stand around here and just wait to find out either. And so now what are you two doing? Goku then went on to further question, because we know that you are both more than likely planning something here, and so whatever it is that you are both whispering about over there isn't going to be something that'll work. And so now what's it going to be? With Meki Myro responding, rejoice in this temporary moment that you call victory while you can, because now that the hour of the beast has finally arrived, this was now the very moment that we demons from the demon realm have been waiting for, Meki Myro continues. For Lord Raijin's vision is nearing its completion, and with it, the true might of the demon realm will soon descend upon you all once we are to return. But I want you all to go and know this, for this display of so-called unity will mean nothing when we return for you, because the next time we find you, and we will find you, Meki Myro continues, we are going to most definitely break you, for you should have tried to go and finish us off while you had the chance. But now that you are all out of time, the next time we fight will most certainly be your last, Saiyans. Just you wait. As Broly then surprisingly went on to then dash towards Meki Myro with Gohan shouting, oh wait, so no, Broly, don't be foolish enough to go and try to go after them like this, because they could be baiting us into falling for one of their traps, and so don't do it! Or oh darn it, he doesn't seem to be listening, Dad! With Meki Myro then shown having to blast his way back through the portal by then responding, worry not, savage beast, for I will ensure to go and keep my eye on you, especially for the next time that you and I are to do battle against one another, Meki Myro continues. You will not be so lucky to escape the clutches of my wrath like how you were shown being able to do before ever again. And so now until we meet again soon, Broly. Which it was only just upon within that very moment as Beast Gohan went on to grab Broly by the shoulder and preventing Broly from following Meki Myro was when Gohan then went on to quickly respond, Broly, wait, you've got to go and try to calm down and listen to me, because we can't just have you go and follow them in there, because there is no telling on what is left that is waiting for you if you go in there alone. And so now you've got to go and try to get a grip on your power and listen to us by not making the same mistake and having to go and rush on through there. And that is simply because there is no telling on what that realm is like, or if they're purposely trying to bait us into falling for a possible trap by going in there. And so you've got to try and calm down, Broly. Oh, they've retreated yet again, Goku then went on to chime back in. But what exactly did they go and mean by what they just said, Goku questions. But even now on top of it all is, does anyone else feel that in the air, Goku questions? Or something doesn't seem to feel right, but I really can't go and put my finger as to why that is or what that could possibly be. And that is simply because whatever that is or whatever it was that those demons had went and meant, it is something that I do not have a good feeling about, and I can't help but wonder as to what that is or what they could be planning, but it's certainly not going to be anything good, which is also exactly why we need to be very careful in making sure that we don't go and let our guard down, with Gohan being shown powering back down by responding, "Hey, yeah, I'm starting to feel something different within the air now too, but what do you think it is?" Gohan questions, and more importantly is, what did you think those demons went and meant by the hour of the beast has finally arrived, Gohan continues, because even though I know that if the fight had went and carried on for just a little longer, then the tides would have certainly shifted within our favor, but I just simply can't help but wonder as to what they went and meant and what their next move is going to be, because whatever it is that they're going and planning to go and try to use against us next, we can't let them go and escape again, no matter what. With Goku having to then chime back in, listen, it's better for us not to go and waste any more time, since we don't really know as to what those demons are planning here against us, and while I'm not quite sure on what this strange surge of energy is that we're sensing, and I have no doubt in my mind that those Dark Masters are more than likely behind whatever it is that's going on here, and so it's better for us to go and hurry and make our way back onto Lord Beerus's world, so that way we can go and hurry and figure out as to what we're going to do before it's too late, Goku continues. And so let's hurry and go so that we can go and make our way back by informing both Vegeta and Lord Beerus with what just happened and see what our next move is going to be, to which all the while in the meantime, as this was shown happening when then having to venture on over into one of the hidden time chambers with the Dark Masters, we only then further go on to take a look and having to see them all gathered together moments before having to summon the dragon, as the Dark Master leader Toro went on to then quickly respond, "The hour of Master Raiden's rise is hereby finally at hand, and while we cannot go and waste a single moment in having this all be for nothing, we are to hurry and go and call upon the dragon right now and have him grant Lord Raiden's wish before something were to go and happen, which will go and prevent us in having to see this mission through until the very end. Do you understand? And as we cannot go and allow for anything to stand within our path, especially not now, and so the time is now." But surprisingly enough, within this very moment, at the same time, when then having to venture on over to Zalama and Whis, as Zalama was now finally able to locate the realm in which the Dragon Balls were being kept hidden within, was when Zalama then went on to respond, "There it is, for it would appear as though I was able to finally trace and track down the exact location on which of the many expanding time chambers those demons had been keeping them within, and as their energy source that I am sensing appears to be radiating from this very time chamber itself," with Whis responding, "Well, excellent work, Lord Zalama, and which of these many time chamber realms did those Dark Masters just so happen to go and hide the Super Dragon Balls inside of? And more importantly, is how will we be able to go and pull them out in time before those Dark Masters can go and use them again?" Whis questions, as I do fear that they may in fact be aware of our presence here, which is why we must go and act quickly before they are able to go and catch on, with Zalama responding, "No, something's wrong, for I fear that it is not about having to wonder about our presence having to be discovered, because I do already believe that they are onto us," Zalama says, and I say this to say that the reason on why I believe that they are onto us, Zalama continues, is because unfortunately enough, they have already summoned the dragon by using the Super Dragon Balls, as I cannot actively attempt to go and retrieve them unless the dragon has already granted their wish in the meantime, Zalama continues, which hereby now ultimately locks us within a stalemate, because they cannot be pulled out unless unless the orbs are to return to their original and normal positions. But there may in fact actually still be a way, and so I will do what I must before they can be allowed to go and make their wish within the time chamber, to which all the while in the meantime, as the Dark Masters were then shown having to summon the Super Dragon, was when Super Shenron then went on to quickly respond, "You who have called upon and have summoned me by using all 7 of the Super Dragon Balls, what is your wish that you seek for me to grant?" Shenron questions. "Speak now and state your wishes before my presence," as the leader of the Dark Master Toro went on to then point up by them responding, "Grant now then, Dragon, for we have waited long enough, and so if there was ever a better time for us to go and have our most important wish be granted, then that time is going to be right here, right now, and so this is what we will order for you to go and do, for we are hereby running out of time, and we cannot go and run the risk of having us lose the Super Dragon Balls before our wish can be granted, especially since they now appear to have all been located by an outside source, and so now you will go and do as we say, or you will be destroyed. Do you understand? And as Lord Raijin waits for us, and you will go and give him what he wants, whether it is within your power to grant or not," Toro continues. "For the Great Awakening will ensue as Lord Raijin's time will finally come into the forefront, and we will use that fallen angel's very essence along with his power in order to go and make sure that it happens, and so now this is what we will go and need for you to do, and as we demand for you to go and give it to us right now," as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, for the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 25 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that even though I am extremely worried in having to now wait and seeing what the outcome of the Super Dragon Balls is going to be, we are currently locked within a stalemate unless something were to go and change within the process. But while I can sense Goku and the others locked within battle somewhere deep within Universe 7, I could only hope that the matters regarding these invading demons are dealt with by our heroes soon, as you do not want to go and miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video. And before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal and Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal and Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi,
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
And of course, y'all already know this is what we do every Super Saturday. We do it live, baby. Spider Pig, Super Saturdays, Dragon Ball content. That's what we do. Y'all want to record, we do any other videos, y'all know leave it in the comments. We'll talk about that, make a video. Hey, that's the entertainment channel for you.
You know, it's weird that Vegeta has had 3 completely different looking Super Saiyan 3s. The one that was most commonly used up to this point was this Goku styled one. Like every Super Saiyan 3 in Heroes used this version. Now the canon one is this one, with his hair sticking straight up rather than falling back.
giving it its own unique flair, and it looks to be based on unused concept art for Super Saiyan 3 by Akira Toriyama. But there was one more. According to the GT Perfect files, Super Baby 2 is a form very similar to Super Saiyan 3, and I mean, we can see that. He has no eyebrows and a more pronounced brow ridge. His hair even grows, but flops forward instead of back. So maybe we did see a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in GT way before the other two versions. So Vegeta's bodies had 3 completely different Super Saiyan 3 designs. Which is your favorite?
Yes, Super Saiyan 4 is finally canon, as you probably already know if you're watching this video. For a very long time, that's something many of us thought we would never say and actually be serious about it. But now it's actually true. In today's episode of Dragon Ball Daima, Goku became a Super Saiyan 4, pretty much making the form canon. The reaction to this happening has been very divisive to say the least, and that doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, Super Saiyan 4 appearing in Daima doesn't surprise me all that much either. Now yes, it's a very shocking thing for it to happen, but as someone like me who is very familiar with modern Dragon Ball and has been following the franchise for a very long time, there are things that I can look at that make today's occurrence and Goku turning Super Saiyan 4 in Daima not all that surprising. I'll say the overall response to this happening has been positive, but there is a portion of the fandom that does not like Super Saiyan 4 becoming canon. Why do so many people love this happening? Well, because Super Saiyan 4 for a long time has been one of the most popular transformations in the franchise, and undebatably the most popular element to come from Dragon Ball GT. If anything was going to be seen again in modern Dragon Ball and become canon from Dragon Ball GT, people will naturally want it to be Super Saiyan 4. With it being such a beloved form, there's actually a large portion of the fandom that's going to absolutely love seeing it in Dragon Ball Daima. There's also a portion of the fandom that's not going to like it due to it being another thing from the past that Dragon Ball has made canon. And many will call it unoriginal and relying too much on the past and nostalgia. That's also a fair complaint. But the events of this episode really aren't all that shocking to me. You see, a couple of months ago, I made a video discussing the possibility of Super Saiyan 4 coming to Dragon Ball Daima. Now, there are more popular figures in the Dragon Ball fandom that have insider knowledge and knew for months that Super Saiyan 4 Goku was going to happen in the series, plus whatever else is going to happen in the finale. I'm not one of those insiders. I did not know for a fact that Super Saiyan 4 was coming. Me thinking he was coming or that it could come was all pure conjecture and theorizing. But in that video, I explored why Super Saiyan 4 becoming canon wasn't an insane possibility and why it could actually happen and be somewhat realistic. And the response to that video in the comments was fairly mixed, with some people commenting things along the likes of, that's absurd and no way this is going to happen, and some people going like, hey, I'd like to see that, that makes sense. The episode just starts off with Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus Goma. Super Saiyan 3 Goku loses, Neva approaches Goku and powers him up, and we see Super Saiyan 4 Goku in all his chibi glory. It is Super Saiyan 4 chibi Goku. He's not an adult, which some people are complaining about. They want to see an adult Super Saiyan 4, which I think could still happen. But we'll see on that. Goku takes on Goma with his new power, and eventually Goku gets reduced back to his base form, and we'll see what happens next episode. But I highly doubt we've seen the lives of Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Daima. Either Goku will use it again, we could possibly see Vegeta use it, we could possibly see a Super Saiyan 4 fusion. I don't know yet. But there's a lot of things that Dragon Ball Daima could do that's not going to be a surprise. Seeing a Vegeta or Gogeta will not shock me. Seeing Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta would not shock me. And while I do think Super Saiyan 4 appearing in Dragon Ball Daima and becoming technically canon is such a crazy thing to happen, and it can be hard to believe, I'm not necessarily super surprised. And that's going based off the history of modern Dragon Ball. Modern Dragon Ball is a different beast than it was back in its original run. Dragon Ball today is not afraid to rely on fan service and make crazy, unthinkable things happen. Now, if you had told me, say back in 2017, before the Tournament of Power started, that one day Super Saiyan 4 Goku would become canon in a kid form, I would call you crazy and would never believe it. But a lot has changed since then, because the further Dragon Ball Super has went and modern Dragon Ball has continued, the more common it is for the unthinkable to happen. Toriyama and Dragon Ball today have no qualms about borrowing from the past and doing retcons of previous characters, concepts, ideas, transformations, and all. Just in general, they've not been afraid to take ideas from the past and rehash them into modern concepts for Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Daima. The first instance of Dragon Ball Super doing this, making something unthinkable canon that fans had wanted for a long time, or had theorized about for a long time, was in the Future Trunks arc. They brought back Future Trunks, who's a fan favorite character, pretty much out of nostalgia and for fan service. But more importantly, they made evil Goku a reality. If you weren't around back then, when we heard about Goku Black, essentially an evil Goku actually being the main villain for an arc, everybody was super surprised because that was just a long time fan theory that was pretty much very edgy and not well thought out by most fans. But then it actually happened, and it was actually pretty decent for most part. parts. We're so conditioned and used to the idea of Goku Black being such a popular villain in the franchise that we forget there was a time that him even being a concept and actually happening and being canon was unthinkable. We saw the return of Vegito, and that was fan service because in Toriyama's original drafts, we learned that Goku and Vegeta were never meant to fuse, and Toyotaro decided to do it because he thought the fans would like it. And then the Tournament of Power rolled around, and we saw Kel, who we assume was pretty much a canonized version of Broly. Toriyama's take on if Broly or Legendary Super Saiyan was going to happen, and he made her female and made her a Super Saiyan that had a Legendary Super Saiyan-esque form from Universe 6. So the entire concept wasn't really from Toriyama, but he helped design the character. But where things really got crazy, and the unthinkable really started to happen in Dragon Ball Super, was with Dragon Ball Super Broly. Because for a long time, fans wanted to see more of Broly. He was the most popular villain from the original Dragon Ball Z movies. People loved the Broly movies, and they loved Broly as a villain, and they wanted to see more of him. But back then, we thought the idea of something like that ever happening to be unthinkable. No way that's going to happen. If you said you thought it was going to happen, people would laugh at you. And then the Dragon Ball Super Broly poster leaked one day, and it happened. Broly was being made canon, just like Super Saiyan 4 was today. And everybody was up in arms and completely shocked. And then we saw Bardock again as well, and then we saw Gogeta. We saw Goku and Vegeta fuse to make Gogeta in a quote-unquote canon Dragon Ball movie against freaking Broly. All of that was absolutely unthinkable. There is this continual Dragon Ball Super superhero with Gohan getting a new form, Cell Max being a rehash of Cell from the past also happening. Modern Dragon Ball loves to borrow from the past. They love taking advantage of fan service, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Dragon Ball Daima is no exception to that. Making all these new forms and characters canon and redoing them with a little different stylistic approach makes a lot of money. That's new characters they can put in the video games, that's new merchandise they can make, it's more characters to add to games like Dokkan Battle for people to summon for. It gives them more opportunities for more arcs, episodes, and movies and TV series to make, and we Dragon Ball fans will eat it up. Not always, because it's not always done well, but sometimes it is done well. And this isn't the only thing that's happened in Dragon Ball Daima that many years ago people would thought would be unthinkable and wanted to see for a very long time. Dragon Ball Daima, just a couple episodes ago, made Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta canon. That's something Dragon Ball fans have been wanting to see for an extremely long time. Vegeta not having Super Saiyan 3 has been one of the longest standing memes in Dragon Ball, but now he has Super Saiyan 3 and it's canon. That very same series that made Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta canon made Super Saiyan 4 canon. People were shocked to see Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, people were shocked to see Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Daima. But if you stop and examine what modern Dragon Ball has been doing with both Super and Daima, you'll see that's a very reoccurring theme for them to make these old characters, transformations, and ideas canon. Or essentially with Toriyama's take on the idea. Toriyama didn't create Broly, but then he gave his version and take on the character in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Toriyama didn't create Super Saiyan 4, but this is his take on the form. This is what modern Dragon Ball is. They're not afraid to borrow from the past, and they love to do things that the fans will eat up. Heck, they even added another Easter egg with the design of Super Saiyan 4 Goku in Dragon Ball Daima. As I'm sure you noticed, he has like reddish hair. He doesn't have that classic black hair Super Saiyan 4 from Dragon Ball GT, which resembles Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 from Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which has a red hair design. Very much resembles the coloring scheme of Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Daima. Now, whether this was intentional by Toriyama or it was just a coincidence is hard to say. We don't know. I think the funnest part of seeing Super Saiyan 4 Goku becoming canon is realizing there was a time where this would have been unthinkable, and now it's almost commonplace for the series and not all that shocking. But it's still a huge monumental event, and seeing the reaction from the fandom is so much fun just being a part of that. People were so hyped for this happening the day that even Crunchyroll crashed. So yes, Super Saiyan 4 and Dragon Ball Daima practically broke the internet once more, just like Ultra Instinct did. Overall, this is a really good episode.
Hey, I just
From
read
top
the
to
story.
bottom, whether you had issues
fix,
with how Super Saiyan 4 and transformation and Daima happened or not,
what I
it was
turned
a
in,
beautifully
sir.
produced episode that you can have a lot of fun and enjoy watching. I know I'm having a lot of fun with it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you shocked to see Super Saiyan 4 Dragon Ball Daima, or were you expecting it? Do you love the thought of it finally becoming canon, or do you dislike it like some people do? Let me know down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the subscribe button as it helps my channel grow. Please smash the like button as it helps the video do well. My name has been Chempazard. Thanks so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Input from the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits that got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd, that tool being the Sealing Gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So, let's give them 67 and 73. Now...
You're making a big mistake. Where do you think you're going? Pity. What a waste of talent. Not today. Back off. Have it your way. A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Are you okay?
Don't forget to leave a like if you're stopping by, and if you're new to Geekdom 101, remember to subscribe and enable all notifications so that way you don't miss a single video. We discuss all things Dragon Ball here, movies, anime, manga, and even some video games. We've been here for 10 years and many more to come. I thank you for your continued support. Let's get to the video. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Ball Daima episode 19, Betrayal. I'm going to do the same thing that I did last week. It's going to be a non-spoiler thumbnail for the first 5 hours that the video is up, so when the notification gets sent out, you should not get the spoiler thumbnail because I'm not going to put it up for several hours if I even decide to do it. I haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to do, but I am going to do the best not to spoil you. If you clicked on this video on accident, just be aware we're going to go into the episode. We're going to go into spoilers for the episode. So if you do not want to be spoiled, shut everything off, get off social media, get off the web, do what you can, get your phone in focus mode or do not disturb mode. Whatever you can do if you do not want to see anything, because even the official accounts are going to get into it. So speaking of getting into it, let's get into episode 19. Last episode was episode 18, where we saw Goku mutate into Super Saiyan 4, the Daima version, thanks to Naba's magic. But the cliffhanger for that episode was that Glorio summoned the dragon at Irene Sue's discretion, and she wanted him to wish for her to become the Grand Demon King, or Queen in her case, I guess it would be, right? To rule the demon realm. Now, that was the cliffhanger. He started making the wish in Namekian, and that takes us to episode 19. Alright, so spoilers, here we go. The first 10-15 seconds of this episode is what people have wanted. Y'all thought they were going to wait till the very end to do this, which I don't blame you. When I first got into this and started looking at what they were doing, I thought they were going to wait till the very end, but no. Goku and the gang get turned back into adults again, which means that Glorio didn't do the right thing. And this is all, obviously, if you watch the previous episode, there's that part where he's thinking about the adventure he had and how they kind of bonded. Even though they weren't super close, they still bonded, and they still went on this adventure together. So what happens is they all become adults again. Now, there's a couple of pretty big revelations in this episode that I'm going to get to. First of all, if you're a fan of Vegeta, this episode was designed to be a dream for Vegeta fans, because Vegeta took about 75% of this episode. It's kind of, I didn't think Like, I knew that Vegeta was gonna fight him in this episode. People had asked me on Super Chats, I was like, yeah, I know he's still in the fight, but I didn't think it was gonna be this much. So Vegeta fights Goma for the majority of the episode, and we actually get, a lot of people wanted this, we get the adult variant of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. First, he fights him in base, and it's interesting because in base, he actually manages to hit Goma a few times. Then he goes into Super Saiyan 3 adult. So, the big revelation, the first one I want to get to, is that the decrease in power that they received from becoming children from Goma's wish was much bigger than we had all thought, including me. I knew that they were obviously nerfed a little bit, but not like this. They were even more nerfed than I had even anticipated, right? So Vegeta starts fighting Goma. First of all, as expected, the animation is crisp, it's clean, it's beautiful. And as if adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta wasn't enough. And it's funny because I should mention this. He's like, when he first becomes an adult again, I guess they can feel that, like, they have their power back or they have a boost in power. So he tells Goku, I'll handle this. He's like, I'll take him on. Which, that's a very in-character move for Vegeta. I'll go first, you know. None of this rock, paper, scissors thing. So Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 fights Goma, and at first he's doing okay. He is. Then we actually see a beam struggle at one point, and because Vegeta busts out, as if Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta wasn't enough, Vegeta busts out a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Final Flash. That was cool. I mean, this thing was massive. The art is going to be everywhere. I'm sure of it. There's going to be art of this all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? All over the place. And what happens is the blast is so powerful that it sends Goma deep into the skies. Like the way it looked, like many of you have already seen it, like he flies up into the sky, right? And then like he's in the sky, and then you see like these beams of light coming down. So they're basically trying to make you think that Vegeta got him. And for a second there, I was like, okay, I know this is not the end because there's still more to come. But I was watching it like, did he really hurt him? But it turns out that the third eye kicked in once again. And, well, the third eye, once again, I don't want to have to keep repeating myself, but the third eye is so damn powerful that, like, it seems to grow in power, and Goma doesn't seem to know how to utilize its max power. He keeps tapping into it more and more, and he gets stronger, and he actually gets even bigger. He grows even bigger in height. So now we have, like, if you include his pre-King Goma form, Goma has like 4 different sizes, so to speak, right? So I wonder when they put him in Sparking Zero, I wonder how they're going to do that. And I also wonder if they're going to put Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta both adult and kid variations. Like, there's a lot that when you really think about it, right, when it comes to the video games, there's a lot they could put in there from these episodes. I mean, a ton. I would, for sure, go out of your way to see this if you haven't seen it. I'm hoping you have, because I know some people don't care about spoilers, but, you know, if you don't, then go out of your way to see it, because no matter what I can describe to you, like, my descriptions can't make up for actually seeing this yourself. Like, the fluidity, the fight between Vegeta and Goma, like there's a lot to break down, lots of punches. You know, Goma was using a combination of, well, he actually went physical for a lot of the fight. Like, he went physical for a lot of the fight, but he used a bit of his magic power. So the third eye, again, saves his rear end. That is, yet again, the third eye saves him. So, what ends up happening is, as Vegeta's fighting a Super Saiyan 3, he ends up powering back down to base form. Now,
when I saw this, the first thing that I thought of was the handicap of Super Saiyan 3, which is that Super Saiyan 3, and this was mentioned in the Majin Buu arc, it is high on energy consumption. Like when you use that form, you have to, especially with a living body, you have to use up its power to win as fast as possible. And if you don't get the job done quickly, your body can't handle it. That's one of its big drawbacks. You're supposed to be able to finish somebody off quickly with it. And if you can't, then it's going to end up, taking its toll on your body. I also wanted to comment that I know a lot of people wanted to see the fusion bugs. I really thought we were going to see them in this episode. We did not. The fusion bugs were not used in this episode, so those are being saved for the finale for episode 20 of Daima, which I said this on a recent stream, but I don't know if you guys know. I wanted to real quick tell you this in case you don't know, but there was some talk that, what if the last episode of Daima was longer? Because the first episode of Daima was like 32 minutes. It was longer than a traditional episode by about 8 to 10 minutes, give or take. As far as what Fuji TV wrote on their site, the last episode of Daima is still going to be the same length, which means that they're going to have to cram a lot of stuff in there. I mean, they're already adults again, so we don't have to worry about like the wish being made after, because they're already adults again in this episode, so that eliminates that. So they'll probably have, the episode 20 will probably be, half the episode will be a big fight, and then the other half will be saying our goodbyes. That's my guess. But there's a lot they have to cram in, and Sheeta is coming back for next week's episode, so that's going to be wild to say the least. But so Vegeta ends up powering back down to base, and he still wants to fight. He still wants to take on Goma. You gotta respect the balls, man. You gotta respect the balls on that man. But I will be honest with you about this. Even though they got their powers back with their bodies growing up again, I'll be honest, I thought this was foolish because Goma has shown how powerful he is. They should all be jumping him. Goku, Vegeta, Kudu. They should all be, Tamagami 1. All of them should be in there trying to beat this guy because, and again, this goes back to the whole, Saiyan pride / martial artist pride of Goku and Vegeta. Same thing they did in the Buu Saga where, if you remember, Vegeta broke the Potara, and as a reader or as a viewer, you're like, what are you doing? This Majin Buu thing it has wiped out the planet. What are you doing? Oh, well, we should fight him on our own merit. And it's like, no, it's that Dragon Ball, consistent Dragon Ball idea where we as people look at these characters and say, okay, you're making the problem a bit more hard on yourself and you're being a bit stubborn, but at the same time, I understand why they did it, but it's still, I'm just just get in there, finish them off, get back, even though we know everything's going to be all right, because everything's always going to be all right in this world. So Vegeta ends up stepping down. I'm going to go more into that in a minute. I got some stuff to tell you about Arinsu and all that in just a moment. But the episode ends with Goku basically tagging in. He tags in. This is very much like the Majin Buu, the final battle with Kid Buu on the Supreme Kai planet, where Goku fights him, then Vegeta, then Goku, and they kind of tag in and out. But here, Goku steps in, and then again, like the Majin Buu saga, he does the same thing that he did to Majin Buu when they first fought on the in the skies above West City. And so Goku goes through all the Super Saiyan forms. So he goes to 1, he goes to 2, and it's the same thing. Super Saiyajin 2, the same thing. And again, I'm hoping that people will watch this episode and listen to how Nozawa does Kid Goku versus Adult Goku. I've seen some people say they sound the same. They do not. They do not. Play a clip from Kid Goku and Adult Goku for Nozawa. It does not sound the same. Goku's voice is different. She does deepen it up a bit for the Adult Goku. So he goes to Super Saiyan 3,
and there's all kinds of sparks and energy, and then he's like, and so Goku powers up, taps into the remaining magic power that Neba gave him in the previous episode. He's charging up, and what ends up happening is, like, this shakes the entire demon realm, because they actually show a scene of Tamagami 2, like, just chilling, and it's almost like he can sense the power. Like, even though there's 3 demon worlds, and they're, you know, they're not super close, but they're not super far apart, they're still far apart as far as, like, you know, they should not be able to hear or sense anything from each other's worlds, but he ends up powering up. I mean, again, I cannot describe to you how this looks. I can't. Like, I genuinely can't. You have to see it for yourself. It kind of reminded me of Goku's Super Saiyan 3 transformation in the Janemba movie. Remember how they had, like, the wacky effects, and, like they go all out with it. And then he's back into Super Saiyan 4, the adult version. Now, I want to clarify, this is not like Super Saiyan 4 from GT. He doesn't have the black hair. This is the same Super Saiyan 4 from episode 18 with the magenta hair. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the GT Super Saiyan 4. I got a lot of questions about this week. People were asking about, like, the moon and the golden grade ape. That only applies to the GT version of Super Saiyan 4. The Daima version of Super Saiyan 4 is triggered by magic. 2 different ways of getting the transformation. And I just did a video a couple days ago, Super Saiyan 4 transformation explained, where I go in there and I explain, like, how this was triggered and what Neva did and all that. So it's that version. Don't mix up the GT Super Saiyan 4 with the Daima Super Saiyan 4. And like I said before, the form is called internally Super Saiyan 4. I don't know if they're going to change the name of it with merchandise. I saw some animators talking about how it's called Super Saiyan 4, so it'll probably just stay being called that, even though it doesn't work anywhere near how the other ones work. You understand what I'm saying? Super Saiyan 4 does not work like the previous 3 Super Saiyan forms. You can't get there from training. It was triggered by Neba's magic. So he taps into it again. So it's the same thing, just with adult Goku. Obviously, they're going to sell a ton of merch, a ton of action figures. I'm sure of it. You know I'm right about that. SH Figure Art's going to put out the kid version and the adult version. I do wonder, though, about Sparking Zero, if you're going to get both, because there's a lot of potential DLC with that game, as well as other Dragon Ball games, too. So basically, the cliffhanger is that he goes into 4, and then the next episode preview shows Goku fighting Goma in Super Saiyan 4. Now, we still have the fusion bugs. That is still something that is going to come into play. I thought it would be in this episode, but I was wrong. It's going to be in the last episode. That is still something that we're going to see, which tells me that Super Saiyan 4 is not going to get the job done. Now, I don't know if it's because the third eye really is that strong, or because Goku actually runs out of magic power. I'm not sure. I couldn't even tell you, because I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're going to finish off this fight. I'd be lying if I told you I did know. I don't know. I don't know everything. But that's the cliffhanger. And the next episode preview, we see like a little bit of the fight between SS4 Goku and Goma, but like they've done the last couple weeks, right? They only show a little tiny bit. Like, they show stuff that is not going to spoil the big surprises in the second half of the episode, or in just the later episode. Remember, these next episode previews for Daima are usually really short, like 5 seconds, so they keep a lot of the stuff a secret. So the fusion is still being kept a secret. It's still coming, though, so be patient with that. Anyways, let me get back to some of the story details before we close out the review, and I want to give you my thoughts on it. Action-wise, I had a good time with this episode. Even though, I'm going to tell you this, 18 and 19 are both good episodes. I think I might like 18 a little bit more, just because the music and the transformation sequence and the incredible, like, you know, how they were running and they were all teaming up, like, it was just explosive, right? This one was not bad. I'm not saying it was bad at all, like, but I'm saying, like, if last week's episode was like last week's episode, I think I like it a tiny bit more than this week's, but not by much. You understand what I'm saying? Not by much. I think Vegeta fans are gonna like this one a lot more because of how much TV time he got. So anyways, there was this moment where Arinsu like talks to Glorio and she's like, "Did you forget what I did for you?" Which I was like, I wonder what that's about. And then she ends up firing him. So she's salty, but deep down inside, she knows this was necessary, or at least Glorio thinks it was necessary, because Goma's a problem, including for her. And Glorio actually, like, thanks her. So I want to know, what's up? I want to know. So when Glorio goes back to the group, the good guys, Pansy is like thanking him, everyone's happy, and then Glorio says, or Goku says Glorio's name right for the first time. So that arc of Goku getting his name wrong is over. Wacky, man. So Arinsu says that back when Abra had the third eye, he was able to put it in and remove it. So the whole thing is they have to get that third eye out of
Goku
Goma.
was calling
So
his name
she
wrong
asked
because he knew he was
Majin
an
Buu
op.
to go and get her a book, like this spell book. This character is so much like Toa. I mean, just a lot, man. Like, there's so many similarities. And also during the Vegeta
We had a
fight,
lot
we're
going on
Goku
with
and
Dragon Ball
Piccolo
this week,
talk
man.
about how
It
the
was
third eye. I mean,
that's
you
why I
see
went
it.
in
It's
earlier than
regenerating
normal.
him. It's preventing him from taking damage. This
We
is
had the
saving
manga
Goma,
return.
bro. And you see it every time you think he's done. The third eye
19. Shout out
swoops
to
in and
Demon
saves the day.
19.
So Majin Ku's reading through
All
the book.
Vegeta
They can
action.
read fast.
Then, you know,
It's
cliffhanger
funny.
with Goku coming
And
back
they
in.
find out, Arinsu talk about how if they can hit Goma 3 times in the back of the head hard enough, they can knock that third eye off his forehead. This is very similar to Cell Max. Remember how the Dr. Hedo put in that failsafe in Cell Max's forehead, and if you hit it, you can knock it, like, you know, beat it or kill it or whatever, or damage it. That's what this is, except it's the back of the head. It's a very similar idea. Here we have a character that resembles Jiren as far as his clothing goes, but also has like the size of Cell Max and a similar weak spot. So again, like we've been talking about, Toriyama and Toei were borrowing from a lot of different eras of Dragon Ball and like a lot of different characters, including stuff from the modern era. It's not just GT. That's why I don't like calling it GT 2.0, because yeah, they are bringing back GT concepts, most notably Super Saiyan 4. That's the big one, right? That's the obvious one. But they're borrowing from a lot. Like, there's a lot of things that they're taking ideas from and kind of cramming it into the show. Goku comes up with a strategy with Piccolo where he wants to fight Goma, and then Piccolo can go from behind and hit him, maybe even with the special beam cannon, maybe even with that. Goku doesn't straight up say that, but I assume, again, it's similar. To me, it's almost too similar to Cell Max. I think that would be a bit too derivative, but yeah, that remains to be seen. So, crazy episode. I think a lot of folks are going to say it's their favorite episode. Some are going to say it's the last one. Some are going to say it's the one next week. Episode 20, Zenkai, coming up next week. So, what did you think? If you saw the episode, let me know in the comments below. These clips are going to go viral everywhere. I really hope that you guys, if you were ducking spoilers, you were able to avoid it, because, dude, I opened up my Facebook, it's there. I opened up my Instagram, it's there. Like, before the episodes even drop on Crunchyroll, before they drop on any of the streaming sites, people have pictures when they air on Fuji. That's the world of the internet. Anyways, I'll be back tomorrow with my breakdown. Take care. Have a good one. See you then.
Shouts out to Fuji. Y'all gotta go get y'all an account with Fuji
Dragon Ball's
TV.
top 5 strongest characters post-superhero.
That way you don't get
Whis.
spoiled.
As an angel, Whis' power is simply immense. He has complete mastery over the Ultra Instinct technique, and he is also able to rewind time. He's proven to be far stronger than Beerus as well, so there are very few that can actually overcome him. Vados. As Whis' older sister, and having trained with him before, she confidently states that she is more powerful than Whis himself. However, there's no real way to determine who would win in an all-out battle between the two of them nowadays. Grand Minister. The Grand Minister is the father of all angels. Therefore, it is to be understood that he most likely possesses the same abilities as each and every single one of the angels, and is simply more powerful than all of them. Zenosama, the king of all, possesses destructive capabilities unlike any other character in Dragon Ball. We've seen him destroy an entire universe in seconds, which speaks volumes about his overall power. Primus, where there's destruction, there's creation. But creating from absolute nothingness tends to be harder than destroying something. The fact that Primus was able to create all universes in Dragon Ball gives him unmatched power. Super Saiyan 4 has returned, but not the way you expected. Among all the transformations in Dragon Ball, few have ever stood out like Super Saiyan 4. It was wild, primal, and an evolution that felt closer to Saiyan origins than any other form before or after. For years, fans believed it was gone for good, left behind in Dragon Ball GT, an alternate timeline of the franchise. Or so we thought. Dragon Ball Daima Episode 18 changed everything. Daima had Super Saiyan 4 make a triumphant return, using a little help from Neva to awaken Goku's deepest, most primal roots. For years, fans have debated whether Super Saiyan 4 would ever be acknowledged in Toriyama's mainline continuity. Now that long-awaited moment has arrived, and it does so in a way that redefines the very essence of Saiyan evolution. With a series that leans heavily on magic and ancient lore, Daima sets the perfect stage for Super Saiyan 4's revival by rediscovering the roots of Saiyan power. This time, however, the transformation emerges not as a mere callback to Dragon Ball GT, but as something organic, something that directly ties into Goku's essence as a Saiyan warrior. The stakes are different, the build-up is unique, and most importantly, this version of Super Saiyan 4 is not just a nostalgic throwback, it is an evolutionary leap for Goku that exists parallel to Ultra Instinct. When Daima was first announced, Toei promised it would take us back to a time when the Dragon Ball series was more about adventure, mystery, and Dragon Ball lore. What we didn't see coming was that Goku in his new childlike form would unlock something eerily similar to Super Saiyan 4, but with some noticeable differences. For the first time in years, we are seeing the return of this legendary form, but it's not exactly the one we knew. The way Daima executes this transformation is nothing sort of spectacular. The animation, cinematography, and tension leading up to Goku's transformation are some of the most cinematic moments in Dragon Ball history. It is not simply about achieving a new form, it is about reclaiming the untamed might of Saiyan ancestry, breaking away from the disciplined calm of Ultra Instinct, and embracing the wild, unfiltered power of the Great Ape. But this return also brings questions. Why does Super Saiyan 4 appear now? Will it remain relevant in the story, or is it a fleeting moment of glory? Could we see an adult version of this transformation soon? How does this Daima variant differ from the original GT version, and most importantly, how will this tie into Super? Let's break it down and talk about things one by one. But before moving forward, if you're looking for a place to discuss all the hype, share theories, or just connect with fellow fans, join our Discord server, Hype's World. It's the ultimate hub for Dragon Ball enthusiasts. Don't miss out on the discussions. Check the description for the link. Super Saiyan 4's return in Dragon Ball Daima is not just a visual treat, but a major lore expansion. Unlike in GT, where Goku's transformation relied on achieving a golden great ape state before regaining control, Daima takes a different approach. This time, Goku unlocks Super Saiyan 4 through a process facilitated by Neva, a character who seems to have a deep knowledge of Saiyan potential. Instead of needing to transform into a great ape first, Goku directly taps into the raw energy of his Saiyan heritage. The form itself carries all the iconic traits fans remember: crimson fur, golden eyes, enhanced muscle mass, and an overwhelming sense of primal aggression. However, what sets this transformation apart is its presentation. Daima treats Super Saiyan 4 with an almost mythical reference, reinforcing the idea that this isn't just another power-up, it's an ancient, long-dormant evolution of Saiyan might that was never fully explored. The cinematography plays a crucial role in making this transformation feel weighty. The build-up is slow, filled with tension as Goku struggles with the sheer magnitude of the energy coursing through him. The moment his body is engulfed in a fiery aura, the animation quality spikes, making the reveal one of the most visually breathtaking moments in Daima thus far. One of the most fascinating aspects of this new Super Saiyan 4 is how it contrasts with Ultra Instinct. While Ultra Instinct embodies calmness, fluidity, and precision, Super Saiyan 4 is the complete opposite. Wild, aggressive, and animalistic. The battle against Goma showcases this perfectly. Goku's fighting style undergoes a noticeable shift. His attacks become more feral, his movements unpredictable, and his instincts sharper than ever. This isn't just a new power-up, it's an entirely different way of fighting, one that leans into the primal savagery of the Saiyan race. A particularly intriguing moment is Goku's monkey walk. Unlike his usual upright battle stance, he momentarily drops onto all fours, moving like a true beast. This isn't just an amusing animation detail, it's a deliberate choice that emphasizes how deeply Super Saiyan 4 connects to Goku's Saiyan ancestry. The transformation isn't just cosmetic, it alters his very behavior, pushing him closer to the primal instincts of a great ape. This monkey-like movement serves as a reminder that Super Saiyan 4 isn't merely an upgrade, it's a reawakening of something ancient and instinctual within Saiyan biology. Goku's willingness to embrace this shift suggests that Daima is doubling down on the idea that Saiyan's true final form is far more in tune with their primal roots instead of calm and composed God root as shown in Super. By incorporating these subtle yet meaningful details, Daima elevates Super Saiyan 4 from a simple transformation to a of Saiyan history and identity. With this fresh take on Super Saiyan 4, Dragon Ball Daima is not only reviving a fan-favorite form, but also redefining what it means to be a Saiyan. There are several key differences between the Daima version of Super Saiyan 4 and its GT counterpart, and these distinctions make the transformation feel fresh while still retaining the core essence of what made Super Saiyan 4 iconic in the first place. Transformation method. In GT, achieving Super Saiyan 4 was a complex process that required Goku to first transform into a Golden Great Ape. Only by regaining control of his mind in that state could he ascend to Super Saiyan 4. This transformation process emphasized the idea that Super Saiyan 4 was a fusion of primal Saiyan power and Super Saiyan energy. Later on, he wasn't required to turn Great Ape again and could tap into Super Saiyan 4 as and when needed. However, Daima completely bypasses this requirement. Instead of needing a moon or blood swave generator, Goku taps directly into the power with the help of Neva. This change not only speeds up the transformation, but also hints at an alternative method of unlocking Super Saiyan 4 that doesn't rely on external celestial factors. It suggests that the form was always within Goku, waiting to be accessed under the right conditions. Aura and animation style. Visually, Daima Super Saiyan 4 has a strikingly different yet identical presentation to its GT counterpart. In GT, Super Saiyan 4 had a rough, almost primal look with a darker, untamed aura surrounding the user. The emphasis was on raw power and beast-like ferocity. In Daima, however, the transformation carries an aura that feels more mystical, almost divine in nature. The fiery energy that engulfs Goku during his transformation has a supernatural quality, making Super Saiyan 4 appear less like a mutation of the Saiyan body and more like an ancient and mystical power finally being claimed. Fighting style. One of the biggest differences lies in how Super Saiyan 4 is utilized in combat. In GT, the form was portrayed as a refined, almost perfected Saiyan warrior state. While incredibly powerful, Goku still maintained a level of structured strategic fighting. In Daima, however, Super Saiyan 4 brings out something far more primal. Goku's movements become wilder, almost animalistic as he taps into instinct-driven combat. He crouches, leaps unpredictably, and even mimics a great ape's behavior with his quadrupedal movements, reinforcing the idea that Super Saiyan 4 is deeply tied to Saiyan ancestry in a way that GT didn't explore in fighting style. Lore and integration. Perhaps the most significant distinction between the two versions of Super Saiyan 4 is how the transformation fits into the larger story. In GT, Super Saiyan 4 was treated as the natural next step in Super Saiyan evolution, something that was inevitable once a Saiyan reached a certain level of power. It was portrayed as the ultimate warrior form, one that transcended traditional Super Saiyan transformations. Daima, on the other hand, treats Super Saiyan 4 as an ancient and mystical power, one that has not been used in ages, but existed within Goku for a long time and needed to be rediscovered. This gives the form a sense of mystery and rarity, making it feel less like a mere upgrade and more like a lost relic of Saiyan history. These differences make Daima's version of Super Saiyan 4 feel unique and separate from its GT counterpart, allowing it to stand on its own while still paying homage to what made the original form so beloved. One of the biggest questions that arise after Super Saiyan 4's return in Dragon Ball Daima is why it doesn't remain a permanent part of Goku's arsenal. Since Daima takes place after Majin Buu's defeat and before the events of Dragon Ball Super, Goku should theoretically still have access to this transformation later, but he doesn't. In fact, during his battle with Beerus on King Kai's planet, Goku explicitly refers to Super Saiyan 3 as his strongest and final form at the time. So why doesn't he mention Super Saiyan 4? Why is it completely absent from Super? The most plausible explanation is that Super Saiyan 4 is a form that requires extremely specific conditions to activate, conditions that Goku is no longer able to replicate once Daima ends. Unlike the standard Super Saiyan transformations, which Goku can tap into at will, Super Saiyan 4 might might be a situational power-up rather than a freely accessible form. If Neva played a crucial role in unlocking it, then it's possible that Goku's ability to transform relies heavily on Neva's presence, magic, or knowledge. This would mean that once the events of Daima conclude and Goku is no longer in contact with Neva, the transformation becomes inaccessible to him. Neva's involvement in Goku's transformation raises even more questions about the nature of Super Saiyan 4 and Daima. If Neva acted as a catalyst, then it suggests that Super Saiyan 4 is not simply a power that any Saiyan, say Vegeta, can unlock through sheer training or emotional turmoil like previous Super Saiyan forms. Instead, it could be a long-lost transformation tied to ancient Saiyan lore, one that requires an external trigger to fully awaken. Neva, possessing knowledge of Saiyan history and evolution, may have guided Goku through a process that allowed him to bypass Super Saiyan 3 and unlock a far superior form, Super Saiyan 4. Without Neva to facilitate this process, Goku may be incapable of achieving the form on his own. This theory is further supported by how transformations in Dragon Ball often require a specific catalyst before they become second nature.
I mean, but for the people who haven't been paying attention, yeah, I'm smoking good, so. But for the people who ain't been paying attention, y'all ain't seen what Vegeta's been doing already. He already been setting his ass down and figuring out how he was gonna get stronger. So y'all don't feel Vegeta on how he gonna get stronger. Cause hell, Vegeta probably looked back like, see, the way my D student writer is he ain't gonna fucking write the story right, so I'm gonna have to write it for you. So now I'm gonna have to tell you what's gonna happen. Vegeta ass is not gonna get Super Saiyan 4. They just gonna fuse and then do some Super Saiyan 3 fusion level shit, cause you know, every time they fuse it, you ain't gonna get the max fusion out of them. Hell, you barely got Super Saiyan Blue. That boy's a D student. He just gonna get Super Saiyan 3 versus a fused Super Saiyan 4. And you out of there. But anyways, like I was saying about Vegeta, that motherfucker gonna probably just what? Be sitting there on his rock like, man, you know what? Hayed was saying, I'm gonna go back to my history. I'm gonna regrow my tail. However that works, because you know he been sitting there meditating, and meditating probably unlocks his not his physical, but more of his mental power. So his mental powers he would want to develop would be his personal hacks. Now, if you designing your own hacks as Vegeta, what hack do you need? Let's see. I didn't need fucking instant transmission. That's Goku's fucking move. Although I learned that, but then I still got my Force Spirit Fusion. But then what were the other things that the Yards Rats were good for? Oh, they had a self-healing technique. Boom, there you go. Not only did he get good at it, he got it to where he can actually regrow his tail. You see what I'm saying? Not just restore his energy, but then, hold on, I can also restore my tail. I'm that good with this. You see what I'm saying? Boom. Now Vegeta's got a tail again. Boom. Now that's how he unlocks his Super Saiyan 4, because Goku was gifted it, and then Goku's like, oh yeah, let me go holler at Neva, because you know I'm gonna have him do that for me in the real world, because when he did it in the demon world, it ain't worked for me since. But you know, if he come here and does it, then I can use it again too. Boom. It's not really important for Goku because he's got his Ultra Instinct, but what's important for Vegeta is how now he's gonna mix it with his God forms versus Goku's like, yeah, I only use that, you know, if I want to be Saiyan Goku, if I want to be Kakarot. You dig? When Broly started acting up, I'll go Super Saiyan 4. Handle him. We almost done for the day though. We almost done.
For instance, the Super Saiyan God required a ritual involving multiple Saiyans to entrust their energies into one. Even though Goku later absorbed that power and accessed it on his own, the initial transformation was only possible because of the ritual. Similarly, Ultra Instinct was first unlocked through extreme external stress, with Goku being pushed beyond his limits by Jiren's overwhelming strength as the Spirit Bomb sucked him in. If Super Saiyan 4 in Daima follows a similar pattern, then it's likely that Goku's transformation is dependent on Neva's magic, knowledge, or some other external factor, let's say the Demon Realm environment environment that is no longer present once Daima ends. Another aspect to consider is whether Neva's involvement means that Super Saiyan 4 is an artificial or temporary evolution rather than a form Goku can permanently add to his arsenal. If Neva's magic is necessary for its activation, it suggests that Super Saiyan 4 isn't a transformation Goku can train to master as he did with Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3. Instead, it could be more akin to a conditional boost, an ancient, forgotten technique that requires very precise circumstances to be accessed. If Goku never figures out how to activate it without Neva, or if Neva himself disappears after Daima, then that would explain why Super Saiyan 4 never appears again. We may get a clearer answer if Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 4 again in episode 19. If the transformation happens, Neva might explain the exact process involved, shedding light on why it's not something Goku can achieve freely. He may reveal that Super Saiyan 4 requires a specific type of energy or an ancient Saiyan right that Goku would never have discovered on his own. If that's the case, then Super Saiyan 4's absence in Dragon Ball Super makes perfect sense. It's not that Goku chooses not to use it, but rather that he literally can't without Neva's aid. Another biggest question following this transformation is whether we will get to see an adult Goku using Super Saiyan 4. Given that Goma still remains undefeated in episode 18, the possibility is certainly there. Some signs suggest that Daima is laying the groundwork for a more developed version of Super Saiyan 4. The transformation has made its debut in Goku's Chibi form, but that doesn't mean it has reached its full potential. In Dragon Ball, transformations often have stages of mastery. Super Saiyan itself evolved from an unstable, stamina-draining form into something Goku and Vegeta could use freely. If Daima follows a similar narrative trajectory, we might see Goku unlock an adult Super Saiyan 4 if he and the others regain their original forms in episode 19. It's highly likely that we'll witness a fully matured Super Saiyan 4, which would be a direct callback to its GT counterpart, but with Daima's own unique twist. Moreover, the fact that Daima has chosen to introduce Super Saiyan 4 at all implies that the transformation holds significance beyond a one-time showcase. If it were merely a nostalgic throwback, it wouldn't have been given such a grand introduction. Instead, its reappearance suggests that it may play a bigger role as the series progresses. The way Super Saiyan 4 was handled in episode 18, where Goku briefly attained it but then lost control to Goma's third eye, hints that the form might not yet be fully realized in its current state. It's possible that Goku's body simply wasn't ready to handle the full extent of Super Saiyan 4, which is why he fell into Goma's psychic grip and reverted to normal so quickly. Otherwise, at full potential, he could have dodged Goma. If Daima follows its established themes of rediscovering ancient Saiyan power, then an adult Super Saiyan 4 could be the true peak of that transformation. If this happens, it would solidify Super Saiyan 4's place as a key transformation in Daima's narrative rather than a one-off moment of fan service. Personally, seeing Super Saiyan 4 return in Dragon Ball Daima feels like a win for fans who always believe in its potential. It's wild, untamed, and brings back that raw animalistic power that made Saiyans unique before all the godly transformations took over. While I love seeing Goku push into divine territory, there's something special about him tapping into his primal instincts instead of just chasing higher forms of ki mastery. That said, I really hope Daima doesn't just use Super Saiyan 4 as a nostalgic gimmick. If they've brought it back, I want it to mean something. Maybe it helps bridge the gap between Saiyan history and their modern evolution, or maybe it hints at new possible power paths beyond Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego that we could one day see in Dragon Ball Super. Whatever the case may be, one thing is certain. Super Saiyan 4's return has reignited the passion of fans worldwide, proving that even after decades, Dragon Ball still has the power to surprise us. With so much to analyze and speculate on, the discussion is far from over. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Super Saiyan 4 should become a permanent part of the Dragon Ball mythos? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Dragon Ball Daima and beyond. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Dragon Ball Daima, Episode 18 Key Takeaways. Majin Buu and Ku are a hilarious duo. After witnessing the Super Saiyan 3 transformation by Goku, Majin Buu throws a massive cookie to his brother, which gives him a temporary buff that he uses to power up and imitate Goku's Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle. Just an amazing pair. Super Saiyan 4 is here. Finally, after a very long time, the Super Saiyan 4 is finally canon. After Neva powers up Goku, the Saiyan transforms into what seemingly looks like the Limit Breaker variation of the form introduced by Dragon Ball Heroes. It is simply spectacular. A new Purunga shows up. Right at the end of the episode, Glorio summons the Demon Realm's Purunga in order to follow Irinzu's desires. This new Divine Dragon looks like a combination of both the Namekian Purunga as well as the Ultimate Shenron from Dragon Ball GT. Massive cliffhanger. Episode 18 ends with Glorio stating a wish to Purunga, although it is completely in Namekian. And we haven't the slightest clue regarding what he wished for in the end. Did he really betray Goku and the others, or perhaps decided to side with them? Dragon Ball Daima, Episode 19 Key Takeaways. Glorio sides with the Z Fighters. It was the cliffhanger introduced in episode 18, and it was finally revealed in episode 19. Glorio wished for Goku and the others to become adults once again, thus betraying Arinzu in the end. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3 as an adult. He did it as a kid, and he did it once again as an adult. Vegeta showed once again that he is able to use the Super Saiyan 3 state, and he was actually destroying Goma for a while. Bulma tames Vegeta. Even if Vegeta didn't want to let Goku fight, he was forced to once Bulma told him that she was not going to take a bath with him ever again otherwise. Goku goes Super Saiyan 4. Goku showed right at the end of the episode that he's able to transform into a Super Saiyan 4 while being an adult. The transformation moment is completely crazy, featuring some of the best animation in all Dragon Ball Daima. Still, Dragon Ball fans will need some explaining regarding how come this Super Saiyan 4 is never mentioned in Super.
After officially introducing a reimagined Broly into the Dragon Ball canon, what if Dragon Ball Super chose not to hit the ground running with the Maro arc, and instead focused on the developing lore at the time? What if there were direct consequences from 17's wish after the Tournament of Power?
I already told y'all I was at the end of my video. See, they're just trying to pull up another video for me. Shout out to YouTube. They trying to keep me popping. Yeah, but y'all already know it's time for me to get up out of here, because I'll be right back at 10 o'clock on TWP. So, you know, I do got to switch over and get ready for that, though. So, you know, that's what's popping.